This is a HeadGum podcast.
This week on the program, mount up your flying horse thing and get ready to blue yourselves, because on this episode, we're talking about Avatar. I'm Andrew Jupin.
My name's Stephen Shadak, and I'm going to eat your eyes for jujubes.
Eric, the Way of Siska.
Chris Cabine.
And we hate movies. Hello, everyone. Welcome to We Hate Movies. Thank you for tuning in. As always, that's right. We're just days away from finding out The Way of Water. So here we are, talking the OG Avatar from 2009, directed by Jim Cameron. Whew. And I should say, if you want the full We Hate Movies Jim Cameron experience, be sure to head over to patreon.com/We Hate Movies, where already there's a We Love Movies episode about True Lies sitting there waiting for you.
Uh-huh.
And I got to tell you, True Lies, shorter than this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
More interesting.
It's more fun, I guess. You know, I don't have a problem with this movie, but
No.
it kind of does drag a little for me.
I feel almost exactly the same way about True Lies as I do this movie.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun with both of them. I don't want to die on a hill for either.
Right.
No.
I think they're both incredibly well made, and just like the problem with this one is the white savior bullshit bugs me as a story tone. It just I can't deal with it. And the problem with True Lies is it doesn't make any sense, and it just is a jumble.
They're bloated good times. I
Yes,
guess.
exactly.
Chris, can't you appreciate the towering achievement of making a movie like this? My God, the towering achievement. Thank you, sir, for making $2 billion. My word.
Is this James Cameron's Renfield that you're
Yes,
doing
and it's
here?
about
Okay.
22% of the internet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. People love it, and it's okay to like it. We're going to kick it around a little bit, but remember, it's totally fine to enjoy it and love Avatar and all that good stuff. But the towering achievement, Steve, was hurtling us into the darkness of 3D cinema for years and years and years.
But here's
We
the
just
thing.
everyone just forgot about it. I was so happy. I've been so happy about that.
Yes.
Well, Cameron kicks it off, right, with this movie. And I remember at the time being like, oh, man. Because, like, and we've said this on the show before. We've said this doing other Jim Cameron movies. Like, do not doubt this dude when it comes to tech. Like, just don't fucking do it. Because he will get one over on you every single fucking time. And I remember specifically watching the movie the first time. I had a Steve Sadak in Hannibal type experience, or seeing Hannibal. It was a snowstorm situation in Astoria. So I almost fucking drove my car off the road to see this movie.
I was in the back seat, dude. I knew what was going on.
I couldn't remember who it was. It was
Yeah.
friend of the show, Sean Weiner, another bud of ours. Yeah, nearly died for that. But I remember thinking, like, wow, I've never seen 3D used this way. And then all these motherfuckers were like, hey, cool, he said it's a good idea to do it. And then they were all doing it and post-converting and not really giving it thought or planning of any kind, you know?
The thought process was, what we need to do is we have to make it look a good reason why we make tickets more expensive.
Exactly.
Yep.
So
You're
what we
goddamn
will
right,
do
dude.
is we will do this, and like there's Coraline that I think uses it well. Hugo I think uses it well.
Gravity.
Gravity. There are films that do use it well, but it was like Clash of the fucking Titans, which is like nobody needs to see that in 3D. Nobody needs to see that in 2D.
Yes.
Wasn't that also
was
starring
terrible.
this motherfucker, by the way?
It was indeed. And that was part of the whole fucking wrap up with him. Is like you got him with this movie, which I think he's serviceable and fine in.
sure.
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
And then they were just like, well, he's in the biggest movie that's ever existed. Therefore, we have to put him in everything.
But yes, he was put in everything because of this movie, and audiences. He wore out his welcome with audiences because he was in 3D and everything. And it's like, this fucking potato head guy walking around still. Come on.
I
With his red nose and his pink ears and his dumb hat.
His hot wife.
I do think actually he's actually really good in Under the Banner of Heaven. That was the first time I've ever been like,
I hear this.
Wow, Sam Worthington's great. So
what
like,
on earth is that?
that's the Mormon show that was on FX with Andrew Garfield. He's one of the other he's an antagonist of the show.
I'll tell you what, Steve. FX did their goddamnest to cover up that he's in that show.
It's,
Yes.
Holy shit.
I think it's the Into the Wild writer.
Yeah, it's him. Yeah,
Okay.
John, whatever.
Krakauer.
Krakauer. Thank you. Yeah,
Crankcore.
he wrote the book. But the and this is the
It's a
fictionalized
good
version.
book.
He's really good, and so is Wyatt Russell. So there, just as an
Love
FYI.
that Wyatt Russell,
Mhm.
dude. But it's interesting to your point, Chris, about the 3D, because I was realizing today was the first day that or first time,
It was
whatever.
the first
that
day you started watching Avatar, and
That's
was 2
right,
days
yeah.
ago.
And now I'm in a weird fucking time tunnel thing where I'm doing the episode, but I still haven't finished the movie technically.
Got it.
Make for the summit tomorrow. I understand.
It is crazy. I put on that movie this morning, and it feels like right now I've lived 2 weeks.
I mean, but
Your
that
hair's longer. You're like, wait a minute, I clipped my nails yesterday.
but that is to be fair, that is the James Cameron special. All these movies since T2 have been at least 30 minutes to an hour longer than they need to be. I say including Titanic in that, which is so much longer than this.
Not by much, but yeah.
Yeah,
but the thing about it is, so this was the first time I rewatched Avatar on a small screen. I saw it twice in 2009 in theaters, and that was it. And I've never rewatched it, aside from maybe like flipping here and there, like, oh, it's Avatar, change channel immediately. But I realized, like, without the big screen and without the 3D glasses, I feel this about this movie the same way I feel about the film Gravity. It's just not worth it to me, to watch this movie without that much immersive spectacle, because I don't have anything to really grab on. Gravity, way more of an emotional story, way easier to be affected. But like, as far as like the fuller, real 100% Gravity experience, 3D on a big screen. And this, I was watching it today, I'm like, yeah, pretty colors. You got beautiful gleep grop creatures and lands and everything. The tech looks great. I got nothing to grab onto.
I would say, like, if you had like human bodies to look at, I mean, because after a while, I mean, the CGI in this is good. You know, it's fine. You know, it's a technical achievement, etc.
A towering achievement, you fool!
Yes. I think Conan O'Brien used to do that impression as well. But it's you got it after a while. It looks like I'm watching Jar Jar Binks is running around. You know,
See, I can't admit to that. Like I am pretty regularly throughout this movie was pretty knocked out by how it looked. I can't really like, even as it went on, I was genuinely like, when the tree goes down, I was affected. Like I wasn't like, oh fuck that. Like I felt for everything. Like it wasn't.
Well,
like,
I wasn't like, oh fuck those people. I mean, that would be some reaction. I was just kind of like, all right, there's a tree 11.
every character looks identical pretty much.
Yeah.
At least from a distance.
Sure.
So after a while, you do fall into that trap that like modern Marvel movies have, where it's like, it's a bunch of cool looking colors just slamming each other. Or, okay.
Yeah, it's a bunch of colors slamming ass. Dude.
I mean, that's the thing is, I mean, like at a certain point, like I actually like the beginning a lot more than I remember it. You know what I mean? Like
Same.
the whole, I kind of like, you know, just going in between the two, et cetera, et cetera. Like I definitely want more stuff on actual Earth, which would be cool. But like when that second hour, what I like to call disc 2 of the video game is when we're just, when he's doing all of his training sequences and stuff like that, I might as well be watching Pixar's Bloop. You know what I mean? And it's the Native American Pixar movie. And isn't it interesting? And maybe an old Native American woman dies at the beginning and everyone feels sad about it. I can't get that invested in it. Like, because to Eric's point, yeah, it's just a bunch of colors moving around.
And it's
I don't think anyone's very particularly well drawn as characters. Not even just like visually. Like, you know, Laz Alonso is like the number 2 who I love on, what do you call it there, on The Boys.
Oh,
and
he
he
plays Mother's Milk. He does.
Yes, and in this movie he's playing Tsutse, like the sort of romantic rival. And like he dies at the end of this movie. I'm like, oh yeah, that guy was around.
Dude, he dies in this movie, and like the only way your eyeball is even able to acknowledge it is you're like, oh yeah, he was the dude that had the red necklace on when they went into battle, but he was only wearing it in the 7 seconds leading up to this battle. And before that, he's just been like everybody else.
Just give me another body type or two of these creatures so I can understand which one is which.
Well, that's not for nothing wanting to see myself on screen a little bit. Where are the fucking lazy pigs of Pandora?
Exactly.
Pandora, you know what I mean? Come on.
Well,
Laz
they're taken
was
care
like a
of.
wide dude, at least in I don't know what he looked like in 2009, but in The Boys, he's like a wide guy. You know what I
jacked
mean?
as fuck, dude. He's built like a brick shit
They
house.
only took his face. You're only acting with your face in this when you're
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's a detriment in a way, and I understand technical achievement, towering achievement. I also do think that like the internet so loves this movie, and part of that is not only because of the denigration of cinema over these past few years, but I could see being a big Avatar guy if I was a teenager or a kid when I first saw this movie, but we were working adults.
That's a good point. I mean, because when you're saying like the internet loves Avatar, I'm like, not anyone I follow, and not to say that I follow a bunch of Avatar haters. I just mean like no one talks about it.
Yeah.
And is that an age thing? I think because the very few people that I see talking about it now online are just like those critics that I follow that are probably like 26 or something like that.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I think it is for. I mean, I think it definitely connects more with those people, and also I think, Eric compared this to MCU. I cannot do that. I think this still looks 10 times better than anything the MCU has ever put out.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
It
It's not even comparison to me. It's ridiculous.
Including Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, a movie. Avatar was definitely watched before that was made.
Absolutely.
They gave a spin.
100%.
I almost think it's like a rallying campaign. Like, come on, MCU versus Avatar. It's going to happen this year, baby. Here it comes.
Yeah, that's what's funny is sort of the online debate about these films, even though it's the same parent company.
Well, that's, I think something you can see is that like everybody is so just hungry for a person with vision to direct a movie that James Cameron has become popular again. It happened to Michael Bay. It happened to Tony Scott. It happened to all of them because they're craftsmen. James Cameron is he cares about this shit. Like that is something I don't think you can argue with at all.
And he's also
shit about this.
He's allowed to work in a way where his vision can end up on screen.
Exactly.
And not a bunch of Marvel executives who hired someone who just had a hit indie film to shit out a new property.
Just listen to the producers, do the script. You are going to be edited by our team anyway, so fuck you. Exactly. And like Cameron's not going to have that problem, and he's allowed. And yes, he's allowed to do that because, and as I said this, I think in the True Lies episode, he makes movies for big audiences. Like the minute this thing goes on the small screen, you lose a whole point. I would say maybe a half point, whole point. Like Avatar is incredible on the big screen. It's pretty good on the small screen.
That's this is my second time watching the movie last night because again, like I watched it in that almost deadly viewing back in 2009, and I never, I liked it. I was like, oh, cool, it was visually exciting. Like this looked cool, that looked cool. 3D was great. And I really never thought about it after that. And then, like, it became the punchline that it has become because it's taken so long for the sequel to happen, et cetera, et cetera. And that's been my engagement with Avatar, aside from that great Nathan Free. Was it the rehearsal?
Oh, no, it's the John Wilson show.
The John Wilson show, yes. The Avatar, the great Avatar meeting of all those fans, which is super exciting and sad. Which I would have watched. I would have watched 90 minutes of that, dude.
Yeah. It's nice. Good for them.
Yes.
You guys are doing great.
They found something.
But
can I throw
please.
out there something that I think, because we're talking about, we would have enjoyed some information more about like Earth or whatever. If we can't have that with footage or some sort of like prologue, this would benefit from a scroll big time.
it would have, because you've got this, the opening is almost like a noir opening.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
VO too throughout. Yeah.
But that VO needs to go away at a certain point because
Sure does.
At the end, when he's just like, because the tree is so important. I'm like, I've been watching this for 2 hours. Of course I know the tree's important.
And I'm still updating this real world-esque video diary for the company that I'm fighting.
Also, it does do, I was noticing the voiceover definitely loses its way from like he's doing those vlogs and that's what you're hearing to his internal monologue, and it only happens a couple times, and boy, not necessary, very obvious. Like, that's just a mistake. That is a honk, not a plot hole thing, but it's just like, you fucked up what this thing was. You told us it was one thing, and then all of a sudden I'm in his head. No. I'm in front of his little GoPro recorder.
Yes. And I love that, like, so the movie opens and like it's like, yeah, I gotta solve a murder. My own. I mean, my twin brother, you know? Like,
I was lying in a VA hospital with a hell blown in me.
and I love that these dudes, these company men, are talking to this guy about taking his brother's avatar literally as he's cremating him. Not the day of the funeral, not at the coffee shop. Like the thing he's about to hit, boop, boop, bop, burn my brother. And they're like, yeah, so we got a little business opportunity for you, understand?
Listen here, Jake Sully, if you could go ahead and press that red button and incinerate your brother's corpse, we could get on to talking to you about getting on this spaceship today.
We have other things to do. You understand? The time is a wasting, brother. So sign the paper.
Oh Christ! All right. So when does his brother's cremation? Okay, fuck yeah. We'll meet him there. All right, let's just go. We'll go. We'll meet him at the crematorium.
I just like what we know about the brother is that he looks identical to him, and he had a PhD in all this fancy stuff.
And well, he was killed with by a guy with a gun for money, for the paper in his pocket. And I'm pretty sure that's probably Sam Worthington who did that to his brother. I don't think you say it like that unless you're trying to hide something.
Dude,
like,
crime it's out of control. We just got to give up on Earth, dude.
Exactly. That's why I had to get out. You had to get to Pandora.
That fucking line, though, that is a total noir line. Just imagine it's said this way, like, yeah, see, my brother was gunned down, see, by a hoodlum looking to get all the paper that was in his pocket.
Yes, it
it's a
absolutely
total
is.
fucking like 1940s C-grade noir line.
Because I just want, like, I know this movie's definitely long enough, and you could definitely find this you could take 10 minutes from the middle, which is fucking as soggy as anything, and put it up top, and just like, let me just see him roll out of the fucking crematorium. Let me see the Blade Runner world. Let me see how shitty it is. And I know there's an extended version of this, and I think some of that does happen.
It's not good.
Oh, you don't say.
No, I mean, like whatever you don't like on this is much worse.
Got it.
There's a whole thing about, like, I think you see Sigourney Weaver teaching. There's a whole thing about Naviri. What's Zoe
Nakiri? I want to say Nakiri.
Zoe Saldana's character.
Natiri.
Natiri. She has a sister that was killed, I think, by the
Oh, no.
military. There's some
Was she
other
killed
stuff.
for the hair in her pockets or something? I don't know. I was just trying to think of what any of these people use. I don't know.
Well, they don't
Arrow
have paper
pockets.
currency.
Yes.
So,
Well, that's the thing. Is like
No
I know
currency, no pockets.
It's a cool and beautiful world of tranquility with these aliens, but you don't go beyond the bow and arrow, really. I don't have any sense of the society besides that.
Well, you never even see them eat. Am I wrong? Like, I don't, like.
Well, Sully, he munches on some fruit at the start, but that's at the military compound. But I imagine it's local.
Yes.
I have a question about how all this works. So, the whole, like, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but like this whole thing of like you get into bed and then they close it like an MRI machine and you go to sleep and you wake up and your consciousness is in the avatar Na'vi body. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then when the Na'vi avatar goes to sleep, you wake back up in your body.
Yes.
So my question is if you're in this program and you're flip-flopping back and forth like this, is your brain like ever sleeping? Like, is Sam Worthington just going to bed?
No,
Later
not.
keeps
later
you,
in the
right.
later in the movie, Sigourney Weaver, because that was something that bothered me in the middle of the movie as well. Later in the movie, Sigourney Weaver's like, you have to go to sleep. You have to go to sleep. She's like trying to put him to bed at some point.
See, this is another reason the internet loves this movie. It represents the gamer lifestyle.
Yeah, he should have some Monster Energy drinks right next to the thing. He should be smoking cigarettes the whole time.
Oh yeah, dude. You know that Norm Spellman character's chugging fucking Monster Energy drinks.
Me and Norm had an epic Avatar sesh last night.
We were playing basketball in the backyard.
No.
It was an epic sesh.
Norm, you gotta let me in. I gotta go see my girlfriend back in the forest. You gotta let me.
Got an Avatar date sesh I gotta get to.
Let a class out of my day.
He is not. I mean, like, and he even says, like, he said that he found at this point the Navi accent easier to do than the American,
But-
and I'm like, it shows.
Of course, because
Sure.
one's
It shows
just a
the brother.
fucking gobbledyglark language that they paid some dude to make up,
It's a
Yeah.
future.
and the other one's an accent you can't do.
All this is just a future bullshit world. Let him have an Australian accent.
Exactly. He could
I-
just be an Australian guy. It's fine.
Because
But
we're working for a corporation here and not exactly the U.S. military.
Sure.
It's not
But-
military. It's definitely all like Blackwater type.
Which I
guys.
think is a little bit of chicken shit, to be
Yep.
quite honest.
It's slightly, yeah.
I mean, that is the future. I kind of get it, but like,
Well, that's actually fair, and he is at least using Colonel still because this delusional motherfucker.
and Stephen Lang, it would be you're talking about a fucking Sam Worthington being a detective in a film noir. He is an anime villain.
yes.
He is
Yes.
straight out of an
Yeah.
anime. I think it was just something that was big at the time. And
So
they're like,
So Chris, did they hire like the guy with the pointiest face for that? Or?
yes,
No,
Well,
no, he's the general who doesn't talk gruff and talk like this. Hey, I need that tomorrow. Give that to me.
Okay, I was thinking of the Cape guys. I like those guys too.
Oh well, yes. Cape would be nice on Stephen Lang, honestly.
But so we're told that there's all these. So it's Pandora. So here's another thing that I wish there was a scroll for, because Pandora we see. I love all the space graphics, by the way.
It's
The
gorgeous,
ship
yeah.
and all that stuff.
It
Very,
is cool.
very, very beautiful. Pandora is a moon to another massive fucking planet, and I just want to know like what's going on there. Are
Sure.
there people
Well-
on that huge planet that's like 10 times the size of Pandora?
Oh! It sounds like someone is asking for 5 more movies. Excuse me.
No, you know what, Chris? I'm going on record. All I'm asking for is a scroll, dude. Fucking
so-
100
so-
words
sorry,
tops, man.
Sorry, movie's been made. 5 more movies coming to explain to you how the big planet works.
All right,
Is there a comic book that I could read to
No.
brush up on
Ooh.
how the big planet works?
Nope, you just got to survive for another 2 decades to get all these movies out.
You know what? I got $20 on Gas Giant.
Sure.
That's the fucking
Possible.
coward's way out, isn't it? Oh, sorry, it's just a gas giant. No one lives there.
Yeah.
The
No
coward's
story to
way
tell
out.
there.
Or do you think all the fat people are down there?
Well, nobody is ever.
That's-
Hi, that's James Cameron here. Nobody's actually filmed a gas giant in reality. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna create a gas giant, and then that's gonna be Avatar 7. I'll be making it when I'm 120.
Gas giant, dude, like the clumps.
I mean,
That was so dumb. I'm sorry.
the whole Avatar sequel thing reminds me. You ever see that great Mr. Show sketch with mustard mayonnaise, and it's the one where Bob Odenkirk is trying to make a sandwich for his daughter by putting mustard and mayonnaise in the same sandwich.
Yes.
And like he's just getting older and older, and the daughter is like a little girl, and she's going to college, and it's her wedding day, but he's still making the sandwich. And then at the end, it's an old lady. She goes, "Daddy, I'm dying." It's gonna be me watching this last fucking Avatar movie, Avatar 5.
I was gonna say Eric was also complaining about the different Avatar creatures. Oh, don't you worry. There's 5 movies coming, and you're going to see so many different avatars.
So many. So he gets there, and I mean, like, Stephen Lang is the big scary colonel.
Colonel Miles Quaritch, god damn it.
And he's like, yeah, it's the most hostile environment imaginable. Welcome to Pandora. There are Pandora rules. I want every last little charm on your little bracelet. That's what I need. Welcome to Pandora. I need the music sign on your little bracelet. I need the time you went to Disney World on your little bracelet.
What's that, little girl? You like eating hot dogs? I need the hot dog charm on your little bracelet. Pandora bracelets.
Put it on your little bracelet, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah, little girl, Pandora. You're going to tell me you give a thumbs up to the talking heads, and I'm going to give you another selection of songs you might also like.
That's right, boys and girls. You ain't in Spotify country no more. This is Pandora. Look alive. Look alive.
So one of the guys that's along with him is Norm Spellman, and this is that dude Joel David Moore, who's like a character actor. Wasn't he in like Dodgeball, among other things?
He's in
Yes.
Grandma's Boy. I think isn't he the titular? No, he's not the titular Grandma's Boy. He's like the bad guy.
I
Oh,
think
nice.
he's in the first Hatchet. There's now like 3 or 4 hatchets.
I could not tell you.
That sounds like fake Avatar sequels to me. They're actually making Hatchet movies. Huh?
Yes, that's
There's
the other
there's
moon.
like 3 of them or something.
Yeah,
there's
that's
a
right.
moon
I
of
got a little
hatchets.
hatchet on my little bracelet because I love that movie.
I just watch it. I just swap through it and see all the big scenes in Hatchet.
That's right. I was dying for a new big bad horror movie monster franchise, and Hatchet delivered the goods, which is why I wear a Hatchet Pandora bracelet.
He's not named Jason Voorhees, but he is Jason Voorhees essentially. So why the fuck wouldn't I watch this?
That's right. I scarred my face falling down at the multiplex seeing Hatchet, but I kind of like how it reminds me of the world.
This fucking scar thing, dude. I'm like, you were a botched security guard at Jurassic Park with this fucking thing.
Well, he says he's like, it's one of those things, and we do it in future movies. It's fine, but it is like, wait, what is that? He's like, that's right. I did 2 tours in Nigeria. Didn't leave with a scratch on me. I'm like, what were you doing in Nigeria?
Wouldn't you like to know, dude?
James Cameron, I know you're listening. Prequel, the Nigerian conflict, please.
Sure.
Go. Do it.
In space. If you do it in space, he'll do it.
No, it's in Nigeria, Chris.
Well, the space Nigeria. He'll take that.
No, listen. There'll be a scroll at the start that explains to the nerds that Earth is already in space and is therefore cool as hell.
See, this isn't going to happen because James Cameron's going to want to build Nigeria. Like that's the only way this goes, Eric.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I think Nigeria would like $140 million.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
It might be the way to do it. I don't know.
We also meet at this point Dr. Max Patel, played by Dileep Rowe, who kind of rules. He's in Inception, among other things. He's like one of the assistants there in the big van jump scene in that movie.
I feel like he went away. He was one of those character actors that had like a huge moment, and then I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, I don't. He's
up.
allowed to stay behind on Pandora at the end of this movie, so maybe
he's still there.
Helps find out the way of water, dude.
Ooh,
I mean, I don't know.
Probably.
They do a good job at like introducing us to all these characters really quickly, because then we get right to Grace Augustine, which is Sigourney. She's the head of the Avatar program, and they don't do this enough. There's a couple shots of it, and even though it's fake, I appreciate it. She's just smoking in this science lab.
Oh, yeah. Oh, please. Do it more. Do it more, please.
It's a CGI cigarette, which is fucking stupid. Like,
stupid.
I don't know, smoke fruit tobacco or something. But, I appreciate that in 2009, we had a character that was a scientist, and she was smoking in that lab. And, because it's Sigourney Weaver, she's just smoking.
She also is, like, super pissed at Jake Sully when he shows up, because she's like, you're just a dumb grunt. I don't want you in my project, et cetera, et cetera. He's been, because it is a cool opening. So like you get the whatever, like you see him in the crematorium. You do see him like emerging from hypersleep, which I always love. Sucker for emerging from hypersleep. And like he's like, yeah, it's been 6 months since I left Earth, or however it is. I'm like, when do you think they started telling Sigourney Weaver this dude was showing up? Was it yesterday? Because that's pretty shitty. Like,
I think it's like, oh, hey, Dr. Augustine, we're in the transport getting ready to shuttle you over to where the new recruits are coming in. Oh, by the way, Sully, yeah, he's dead. We got his twin brother, though. Buckle your seatbelt.
They told her just in time before they started butchering up that body, which then no one could use because it's like a partial clone.
Yes.
That's why, the whole thing is like, your avatar is linked to your DNA, so because they are twin brothers, he's able to slide right on in there.
But if he hadn't been, there would have been just a nice big barbecue or something.
Oh yeah, get chopping, dude.
Yes, send him some meat, some nice charred meat. I assume Dr. Augustine, they have to like tell her to not smoke while coming down, like in the transport, like she's in a helicopter trying to light a cigarette. They're like, please, could you just? It's not going to work up here. Even if it is CGI.
I mean, like the thing is, like the amount of money it would cost to make one of in world one of these avatars.
Uh-huh.
It just like it does. I know that unobtainium, it's like it's $20 million they say per kilo. It's still not enough money to make this many of them, and like they don't even do anything. Like, oh, you're gonna go and negotiate a peace treaty. You never see him do that.
Yeah, what's so interesting about that is like it's like, oh, we can't have this guy in there. We're supposed to have these scientists that like study the language and stuff, and they're even less effective. It seems like the program is a complete failure.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
and how much money did you fucking toss in the toilet for it?
Well, I mean, that to me again is pretty realistic, and that the whole point of it is just to fucking mine out whatever the fuck they can get. And leave.
I think Chris is right. It is realistic because this definitely would happen in some capacity, but it would be mainly for sex stuff.
Yeah, also that. I mean, I'm not saying
Fucking
that's
these
not
things.
happening. That's probably an Avatar 4. That looks the horny one, I think.
When she,
Oh yeah, the horny sequel.
when Jake's Sully's finally in this Avatar body, there's a moment where he has his tail, his hair tail, his ponytail thing out, and she tells him that if he keeps playing with it, he'll go blind. So he's just hanging there with his dick out.
Yeah, his hair dicks. I mean, they're like little tentacles essentially.
Yes, and Chris, in this society, sort of like your favorite film Zoo, the documentary from 2007.
Yeah, of course.
You can just shove it. You could shove that hair dick right into a horse or whatever you want.
Sure, I suppose you can do that, Eric. Yeah.
That's how you connect. That's how you like bond with nature. You put your dick in things.
Well,
and that's what this movie is.
It's even worse when he puts it. I think he puts it in the bird or whatever. Like,
Yeah, the dragon.
You're mine now. Oh yeah,
Oh,
you like
yeah.
that, you little
Yeah.
dragon?
Hey, look at this. You ready for this? Close your eyes. Bam! Hair tail.
Oh, I didn't even put all my hairs in yet.
Oh, there's too many hairs for you.
You know what I
Weird
did?
flying horse thing.
You know what I did? I dominated him. Oh yeah, I dominated him. Yeah, that's what I did. I dominated
Gonna
him.
turn you into a shower drain, mate.
Oh, this dragon. Yeah, this dragon's my sub now. Yeah.
I will say Cameron himself is horny for these Na'vi. No
yeah.
two ways
Of
about
course.
it.
Oh, big time.
He probably has a doll that he fucks or something.
Especially at the end when like it's you know, if you're really invested in the movie, it's beautiful when she finally sees tiny little Jake Sully and she picks him up.
Oh
my
How you doing?
Oh, that blew,
Crush me like a bug, Linda Hamilton.
all of that just blew my headphones out nice and well.
Blue.
Oh yeah. We also meet dude who doesn't get his in this movie, and what the fuck are you doing? Giovanni Ribisi as Parker Selfridge, who's like the manager of the company who's doing all the mining of the unobtainium. And let me tell you something. This guy needs to be set on fire at the end of this movie, fucking launched off a mountain, something. Just the fact that he gets to shuffle off this planet at the end of the movie, just shrugging his shoulders, like, oh, I'm so sorry it didn't work out.
Get ready for the sequel, right? He's supposed to be in that again, so
Oh,
they'll
yeah.
probably
Is
rip
he?
his
Oh,
head
shit.
off or something.
Well,
I hope so.
Well, because I mean, I think that's the thing is like you, Jake Sully, need to understand. Like, nah, sorry, Nevi, we can't let him go that easily. They'll never learn their lesson. Send them back in body bags.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Just get a spaceship, turn them all into fucking, pudding. Put all the pudding in the spaceship and just send it back to Earth with a little note on it. Just said, fucked around and found out.
Pudding. This is pudding. This is pudding people now.
Pudding people, yeah.
Pudding people.
Yummy.
Maybe that's what he puts his hands in when he's painting himself white in that one scene. There's
Oh, yeah.
that goo scene that he puts his hands in goo.
Not enough goose scenes.
Probably not.
I like some slime too. Some slime would be cool.
I mean, it's a little slimy.
Like
It's
maybe
slimy goo.
When they, start making out, they just slime each other up, right?
That would also be hot. I don't think they're going to go the society way on this. I don't think that's James Cameron's
But you don't have
way.
to go the whole way. You could just
No, you
Sure.
just slime it up like a Nickelodeon game show set.
I'm sure.
exactly,
I'm
which is
sure.
also unfortunately erotic.
And Ribisi's whole thing is he's stoked about the Jake Sully switcheroo, and in fact okayed it because he's like, oh, it'll be great now there's a Marine that's on our team or something. So he's stoked to have like a grunt in the mix who's not a lame scientist or whatever.
Well, because scientists are rebels, don't you know? And the soldier will take orders. And the thing is, he does. Stephen Lang takes him aside and is like, well, listen to me, you son of a bitch. I need you to be undercover for me, even though I control this whole fucking thing and can just see the footage of what they're doing all the time. But I need to know the emotional intelligence. What do they give a shit about? Do they give a shit about this tree or that tree? and therefore I can use that
Yeah.
to really fuck with them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, they care about that tree, then I'll really fuck that one up.
Yeah, that one is going to have to go first. That's going to have
That's
to be the
right.
first one.
I need you to go inside your $2 billion outfit and figure shit out for 3 months and learn exactly nothing I could use.
Yes, hand me the most obvious intelligent, like okay, now the big tree, they really like the big tree because it is big. Okay, got it. I could have figured that.
Noted.
And is that the biggest tree they have? I need to know that before I hit it.
I have now learned everything I needed to know, which took me 6 months and fucking $20 billion of you fucking around.
Oh, and by the way, Jake Sully, I am so confident in the way in which I will waste money. Before you are going to finish your mission, I am going to pull you out of this program and send you back to Earth to get your spine fixed.
Which is
I love that he
Yeah.
doesn't. He's like, all right, you told me 2 things, and I don't want you to finish the job. Go home.
Yes.
I got your legs. Don't worry about it. Get home and have your legs.
So it's day 1 of him. We're going to do this transference, get into the avatar body. It starts with fucking hilarious shot here of like the lab or whatever. And it's like, you're seeing the chamber where the Jake Sully avatar had been like floating in the amniotic fluid or whatever.
Yeah.
And Norm has some comment about like, oh yeah, they grew them, on the 6-year journey out here or whatever. So you see that tube and they've taken the avatar out and put it on a table. And there is a dude, like a fucking circus janitor, like a zoo maintenance guy, hosing down this fucking avatar chamber. Oh my God.
Oh, God, these fucking Navi smell. Well, these fake Navi. The real Navi smell quite nice. The synthetic ones smell like shit, though.
Oh, thank God we have these masks on. You don't know. They corroded the old ones. They just it evaporated off the guy's face once he smelled it.
It's like a dirty diaper with spoiled meat in it.
Smell like crocodile. It's a real synthetic smell.
You know how the alien blood rots through the ship? Yeah, it just the smell rotted right through the mask.
It's gonna stink through the hull.
'Cause it's weird.
yeah.
You don't. The weird one thing, and I mean, they never tell you this in this movie, which is a really important rule that I need spelled out very early on, which is if you die in the Avatar, you die for real. I need to know that. You never know that. You never know what happens if somebody dies.
The opposite. Like, yeah, that thing can die and you'll be fine.
Because the only time you actually see what might happen is at towards the end. I think Norm's avatar dies and he gets out kind of clutching his chest.
Yes.
But that's 2.5 hours into the movie. So like when Jake Sully is like jumping around and trying to catch dragons, like, am I supposed to be nervous for his well-being? Not like
Exactly. Yeah. Or is he just gonna wake up in the bed and
I'm pretty sure that you have to, like, for at least if you are in the synthetic thing, like it's not Matrix rules. If you die in Pandora, you don't die for real. I don't think that's the rule.
We do.
Well, they prove it with the Norm character.
Yeah,
the Avatar gets like shot.
But
in the stomach.
I need that up top. I need to know what
Right.
that, you know what I mean? Or not even up top, but like you also don't even realize, it takes you a while, if you're me, to realize like these things aren't exactly Navi either because they have 5 fingers instead of 4 and they have eyebrows. Like,
Oh, I didn't notice any of that.
It's
Exactly.
Yes, it's an affront to God. It's an alien-human hybrid, and it should be burned in a fire. But to Chris's point about it's not the Matrix rules, but there is a moment once we get eventually when we go through all the him learning everything. We
Right.
do get
There's pods.
He jumps. Yeah, there's pods for one, and then he jumps as like one of the big tests, and he doesn't pass it because no one does the first time. He falls down on a mushroom.
Yes, he does.
I know it's a 2 hour
Oh.
and 40-something minute movie. You might forget that he tries to jump at one point. He fails, can't even cling onto a vine, and then he's saved by falling on a mushroom.
Big soft mushroom, and there's a lot of falling on big leaves. I appreciate the big leaves look very comfortable.
Hell yeah.
I
The
honestly
one that
would
they
love
sleep
that.
in.
Yeah. Well, those
Oh,
are
yeah.
nice too. The pods are nice, but like there are several shots of just humongous leaves that break his fall. As
Oh,
he's coming-
yes.
and he's like sliding off. I'm like, that would be nice. That if anybody is trying to do an amusement park ride for this shit, that would be nice.
Yeah, just push people off a fucking building
That
and
sounds
have
great.
a couple of banana leaves on the ground.
and not a building, a rock formation. Excuse
Okay,
me,
yeah.
sir. A cliff, if you will.
Do-
You should know about cliffs.
I
Do we know a single person? Have you heard of anyone that's gone to that Pandora
No.
park?
No.
right?
No,
Okay.
No.
Life's too short. I mean, Jesus. Why? It's the same thing with that. What's the fucking the first flight of the Turok? Turok the dinosaur hunter. What the?
Yes. Turok the dinosaur hunter.
Cirque du Soleil thing.
Cirque du Soleil. Yes, they did the scene you don't see, which would have been a nice scene to see. When he takes on the bigger dragon thing,
right
near
when
the end,
when he fucks that one as well.
When he fucks that, he puts his dick inside its dick, and then it goes and they become bonded.
Yes.
That is in a Cirque du Soleil performance.
Which I don't know. It makes sense, I guess.
Well, here's the
right?
thing,
Some
though.
gymnastics and stuff.
Chris described to you everything that happens in it, right? Or like what the story is. There is a filmed version of this listed on IMDb.
No,
80 minutes.
Wow.
No, sir.
80 minutes? Come on, Cirque du Soleil.
I wonder if that's how he got the money. Is he's like, look, there's a scene I'm cutting out of it. You can make it your next Cirque du Soleil thing. Will that get me 50 grand to finish this fucker?
But to loop back around on Avatar World really quick, it would have been bigger had we seen their food, had we seen, fleshed out that
true.
world. Because if there was like, oh yeah, the Pandora bar, now we're talking maybe.
Oh yeah, dude.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, and then it's all, here it is, right? It's like the bar is on Pandora. And so because of that, it's all like the size of Na'vi. So you just get a beer and it's like a huge fucking glass of
yes.
beer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like normal size for a Na'vi, but for us human folk, huge
You
beer.
got to drink the whole thing, one gulp, frog and all, because there's going to be weird biological shit in it.
See, this is why you guys would never be able to blend in with the Na'vi. They would think this is disgusting. They're saying you're not actually helping the core. You're not helping the nature.
You're right. There's too much gluten for them, right?
There's too much gluten, and you're too much hanging out. There's not enough activity going on.
I do agree. I don't really see the Na'vi getting wasted, like getting shit hammered at a bar.
No, they're like, what? Why? What?
That's my fucking favorite war chant. Turn that shit up.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's no fucking like soccer team for them to root for.
Oh, I guess there's no culture worth saving there then.
No, just there's no nightlife, Eric, is what we're saying.
I'm going to join up with Colonel Quidditch.
I was
We
gonna
do
say.
we do see a lot. Speaking of being horny for these things, we see a lot of big, beautiful feet in this movie, don't we?
Oh, dude,
Oh,
feet of all kinds, huh? And they get you at the start, right? Because when he goes into the Avatar, and like, of course, this man who has been paraplegic for a while is going to be wiggling them toes. So like, that's your one. That's the one that you get. Like him marveling at, oh my goodness, my feet work again. But after that, dude, there's no excuse for all them toes in this movie.
Nope.
Well, look, you try being friends with Quentin Tarantino, okay? That's James Cameron's. He's that's my buddy. I'm gonna get him.
Are they
Get
friends?
some blue feet. I think so. They've done like interviews together. I think.
Ooh, we already talked about Colonel Quidditch or Quaritch, getting Jake Sully to be this like sort of undercover thing.
He needs an org chart. I'm sorry. Like,
Sure.
who am I reporting to? Is it the scientist? Is it Packer? Is it the colonel? I just need to know who's who here.
Or maybe I'm reporting to Trudy Chashon, played by Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah, who offers to take him on a side mission, which we do not see. They needed another gunner on one of these flight missions. Boom, blam, blah. She's gone from the movie for the next 3 hours.
You know
And
why?
then
Yeah.
She's there for the third act only, basically.
Michelle Rodriguez is thrilled to be sixth billed in your movie, and I love that about her. She's
Yes.
she gets up for it. She's like, "That's fucking awesome, man! I get paid as much, and I have 20 days off on set. Great, love it."
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. It doesn't interfere with their drinking schedule.
Oh, now.
Listen, that's a positive in my book.
Sure.
Wasn't a positive in her book, dude. I got her
No.
fired from Lost.
And did it also get her fired for doing the movie pre-show when she did the Resident Evil thing and she was drunk? With
You
Mila
saw
Jovovich?
this, Chris? Are you the
Of
only
course,
other person? Oh my god, it's my
of
favorite
course.
thing in the world.
Yeah,
my favorite thing in the
what
world.
is this? What is
it's like some publicity interview where they're trying to talk about some movie and she's wasted.
They're talking about a Resident Evil movie, whichever one it is.
Listen,
and like
we
it's
were-
her and Mila Jovovich, and she's just like, this girl's been in all these movies and they're awesome. She's the best.
Yeah.
Listen, I can't still throw stones about that because I was just as wasted for our Resident Evil episode.
At this point in the movie, though, something I want to point out, because we're praising the graphics and everything. Yes, technical achievement. We'll say it for the 40th time.
Towering, right, Steve?
It's a
Towering.
technical achievement, my God. Do you know how much money this movie made? That means it's the best movie ever made, you fucking imbecile.
Do you know how much money this movie made? Do you know how that personally affects me?
Until, of course, the best movie ever made now, Avengers Endgame, finally toppled it. My new god has arrived.
I love the tops of the box office.
So he's like working on one of these fucking mech suits, dude, and he's like, all right, you go undercover for me, I'll fix your legs. Now I gotta get in my little rover. And let me tell you,
I got to show you how this functions a little bit for when it shows up in the third act of the film.
and I just wish we spent a little more time on this, because the fucking human head inside this thing looks terrible.
Yeah.
It looked terrible in 2009. It looked terrible today. It looked terrible when they did it in whichever one of them fucking Marvel movies where you see Mark Ruffalo's head in the big
Oh yeah, woof.
Hulkbuster suit or whatever the fuck.
I believe that's Endgame, and I believe that's
Jesus. That, you want to talk about moments at the movies, right? Like movies moments at the movies you'll never forget. His fucking helmet opens up in that movie and you see Mark Ruffalo's head. My jaw was on the floor. My jaw was on the floor.
You've got to be like, we have to cut that scene, or we need to fucking push this movie back 2 months. We got to fix it. We got to fix it.
We got to devote a whole fucking Korean animation warehouse to fix this fucking thing. It's the worst looking thing in the MCU.
You know what? He's been in 8 of these movies. Maybe finally we just know what his voice sounds like.
Yeah,
and he
sure.
doesn't have to pop his fucking head out of it.
But
this is a technical achievement that this influenced Marvel. This is partially why everything is CGI now. That's all I'll say.
Exactly. So it's hard to love all this. So like whatever, he like loves being an avatar now. He's running around. They're like avatars playing basketball, big sexy Sigourney Weaver, and then I just fucked somebody and I'm hanging out in their t-shirt. Stanford shirt comes out. It's
Dude.
like, all right, guys. All right, Jim, put the boner away, buddy.
She had a custom t-shirt made for this avatar for her alma mater. If there is anything more obnoxious, I can't find it.
That's what radicalized Stephen Lang's character right there. He got that request and he was like, this is fucking stupid. All right, we got to get a soldier in there. I can't. These fucking scientists keep on putting needles in my trees.
Listen,
I can't fucking deal with it.
We got to fight the Na'vi because look at this. There's Pandora sizes at the Stanford bookstore now. You got PXXL happening at the Stanford bookstore.
Wow, what a marvelous achievement. You're so proud that you got accepted to a school. You had a custom-made shirt to put on your fake alien body. Wow, I'm impressed.
Very easy to get that shirt when Stanford is the only college on Pandora right now. They're the only one who has a satellite campus on this.
Bob, I got good news and bad news. I got accepted to Stanford. I know you're excited, but actually it's the Pandora satellite.
Yeah, so it's going to take me 10 years to graduate, 6 years to get there, 4 years of study, and then also another 6 years back to Earth.
I'm going to major in enormous basket weaving. What I'm going to
I could get a doctorate in killing blue people.
Honestly, I fucking wish, Steve, I would love to see a basket being weaved.
Sure.
I would love to see anything about the culture. I know there's prayer and there's reverence for nature, which is awesome, but I need a little more of this society.
Maybe you're going to get it in the way of water.
I
You're
cannot
definitely
wait.
going to get it.
I don't know. He's going to find the time in 3 hours and 12 minutes. I just don't know.
Well, good thing there's 7 more being made somehow. And he's like planning them after his death, Jigsaw style.
Yeah.
Like,
Hello, movie theaters.
Because like what, 6 and 7, he's not going to direct himself or whatever, but he's left plans for his assistant Amanda and Detective Costas
Mandylor to direct Avatar 7.
That's how they get. That's how they get Catherine Bigelow back in mainstream movies. Is he calls her back, much like Jigsaw calls back his victim.
Yeah.
He calls back Catherine Bigelow and is like, Catherine, you must direct Avatar 6 and 7, The Way of Dust, or whatever the
You're now
fuck.
selling me on the 6 and 7, by the way.
It's when he's dead. They do the autopsy. It's fucking gross. They just find this little wax, little tape. It's like, hello there. I guess you thought I was done with the way after the Way of Dust. Incorrect. Avatar 8 is happening.
The way of death.
My disciple and ex-wife, Catherine, will be taking care of it.
My disciple and ex-wife. What is his fucking Nexium? Dude?
So he loves being an Avatar. That's great. And like we don't see this side mission where he's a gunner. It's like the first big night out. We're gonna go and just like see what's gonna happen. But the thing is like Jake Sully's an impetuous guy. He's kind of an asshole at the beginning of this movie. He's got a lot to learn. So he fucks around and he does find out as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he fucks around getting chased down by this hammerhead rhino
Sure.
looking creature. That's what I was calling it. It
Oh
looks
no.
like a-
See, yeah,
is that what it is? Is that? Am
Oh no,
I wrong
I
there?
just don't give a shit about it, but I agree.
I wrote
I
down
see.
dinosaur.
there's a dinosaur panther later, and then I had a hammerhead elephant. That's what I had.
Oh,
here
nice.
with mud. I mean, it is funny because it is essentially what gets you. Him playing with the plants is essentially immediately what gets you killed in Alien Covenant.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just like this. It's just like, no, it's not that. It's actually the humongous fucking elephant thing that's going to almost kill you before the panther thing tries to kill you.
There is a out and out Flintstones joke at the start of this scene because like they're in the chopper with Michelle Rodriguez and she's dropping them off in this area. So yeah, we can just get acclimated, and Norm and Dr. Augustine are taking soil samples. Real exciting shit. And so Jake Sully's looking out at the majesty of Pandora up, from the skies and everything. And the chopper flies past like some, what weird bird looking things. One of these things looks right at the camera and may as well be like, it's a living. Like when you're designing a computer animated thing to spike the camera, well done.
Yeah, I mean, like all these animals are like exciting. I think that the hammerhead guy is cool. We needed to go back to formula on this fucking panther looking thing. That thing sucks.
Yep.
The little panthers are cool. I like the little ones, but the big one, I'm not. I think they needed to like bloom it out a little bit more from the little ones.
Yeah.
You know what they
Make it
kind of look
cooler.
like? You remember in Mario 64 when you activated the green question mark boxes and it turned you into like Metal Mario?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
I do not.
I do.
Yeah,
Well, all right, two out of three ain't bad. It's that kind of just like formless, shiny, like it looks like a moving statue
Right,
in a
it
way.
is. Yeah, it's like
It looks a-
glistening but not wet, which is a
Yes.
problem.
It also looks a lot like all of those faceless Thanos hordes from Infinity War that
yeah.
storm Wakanda. If you remember that part.
Barely. But yes. And what was the other thing about these guys that I really here's one to point out. It's the first time this happens. So yeah, Jake Sully in this avatar body, right? So he, for all intents and purposes, looks like a Na'vi, but he's got human clothes on, and of course he's carrying a gun. And the thing that I realize is really awkward. This happens a lot with Jake Sully, and I think maybe Sigourney once or twice, but it's definitely Jake Sully's. He's the number one offender here. When you're in the Na'vi body and you're using profanity,
Yeah.
weird look.
Yeah.
Like right here is the first one that kind of happens where like Sigourney Weaver's like, oh, stand your ground against this hammerhead elephant thing. Don't back down and you'll be fine. So he like screams at it and the thing runs away. But it's like, haha, the joke is the big other creatures behind Sam Worthington, right? And it spooks the animal.
Mhm.
But Sam Worthington thinks that he scared it off. And he's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, bitch. And I'm like, I don't know,
There's
man. And there's
7:30
other parts of this movie where he's like, God damn, and look at that shit, like in this blue body. And you're like, I don't know.
7 dirty words you can't say as a Na'vi.
Hey, the Terry, my cock is itching after that 6 last night. Ow!
Can I get a Budweiser?
That reminds him doing that thing, which is when he's like, "Yeah, bitch," and the things behind him reminds me of I think my first day of second grade. I was playing Gotcha Last with some older boy that was like that knew my mother. So he's
What
like,
does Gotcha Last?
it's kind of like tag, Gotcha Last.
Okay.
You're back and forth, back and
all
forth.
right.
I get him last. I run inside the car of the woman that was driving me home, another friend of mine, and he's like about to shove his arm in the window.
Nice.
I push up the electric window, and I'm
Ooh.
looking at my friend like, "Hey, I got that son of a bitch." His face goes to horror. This kid's arm is stuck in the window. He's like, "Oh, you son of a bitch! You're breaking my arm." It's the first time anyone called me a son of a bitch.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I did have.
Did it break off? Was there bleeding or anything?
No, but I just almost crippled the kid.
And
It's
he's
fine.
you almost did. Okay, so he didn't get it. So
Survive.
it would be cool if he did, because then he could go into a Na'vi body.
It's true.
Did you get it though, Steve? Did you get in trouble?
No, he shouldn't have been fucking around, dude. I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, okay. No, I was gonna say, Steve, if you had gotten in trouble, well, that's indefensible, dude. You were being messed with.
Exactly.
It's bullshit.
You were just doing window shenanigans. You were just trying
Exactly.
to be fun.
And so I realized this time through a thing that just, especially when it's not on the big screen, there's so many moments in this movie, especially early on where we're getting the run of the planet, whatever, where we are just getting in chase scene after chase scene. And so
Yeah.
like he gets chased by this one thing, falls down a fucking hill, and then like the sun sets and he's getting chased by these like wolf, wolf-sized creatures,
They're
like right
baby-
after.
They're babies of the thing that just chased.
Oh,
them.
is that the deal?
Yeah,
Really?
that's-
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're tiny versions of him.
And it's because this is all being cheated for 3D. It's nauseating to look at on a small screen. It just is. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way the camera's moving around. It's not nearly as exciting, and it's
Right.
aging a bit like
you could
know.
tell glooping up that torch in 3D would have been more interesting looking with all that 3D gloop and glop on it.
Right.
Yes.
But on this, it's just like, okay.
So he's like wandering through the forest at night, and this is like our brief introduction to Natiri here. This is Zoe Saldaña, and she's like about to assassinate him, which I fucking love.
Yes.
And then like she notices the little like white fluffy thing like lands on him, and that's like the planet speaking to her or whatever. And
Saying
she
it's
like
cool. This guy's
Yeah, like-
cool.
lowers the weapon. I was like, oh man, dude, who's about to have a fucking headshot in this movie?
Yeah.
I mean, the white things fall down, and because she's also seen Miyazaki movies, she's like, "Oh, that's got to be important.
Mhm.
I better fucking figure this shit out."
Oh, you're making fun. That's actually their police officers. All right, Steve. And they're saying, look, this guy's cool. All right, back off. We know this guy. He's cool. Back off. We made a deal with
See, if
with
Pandora
Lang.
Land, if a bunch of Will-o'-the-Wisps like escorted me out of that bar for drinking too much, it would be interesting.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, like Mr. Siska, they're asking you to leave. Also, you're too drunk to fly your horse home, so we'll collectively
No,
cover you in little
that's-
fuzzies and fly you home.
That's not true. I could put my dick in anything. I could drive that horse
Yes.
with my dick.
Yeah, John Waters is directing Eric Siska's Na'vi. Like he's just trying to give booze to all the Na'vi and give them cigarettes.
That might be a new thing. And Elon Musk, who I know listens to the show, but maybe that's the new
Oh, yeah.
Tesla thing. Is if you're not able to get hard, you shouldn't be allowed to drive because you're too drunk. You know what I mean? Like that's a good move.
That's a great way to ruin the company. I agree, Steve. I think that's a fantastic way to end all of this.
Then I think it's a great idea because I love ruining things. Everyone on Na'vi is pedophiles.
That's why we have to destroy them.
Actually, we are actually building a separate non-pedophile conveyance to get Jake Sully out of Pandora because the pedophiles have been bad at it. They can't find him.
Yeah, pedophiles terrible. They kill children and stuff, but our cars do it much more effectively.
Well, that's what's funny. It's like he gets lost in night, and Natiri finds him, and she's like, you stupid! Don't be thanking me for killing something. You know, all this stuff. Love the land, love the
You're
creatures.
like a baby.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be fair,
that turns her
he
on.
is. I mean, he is a baby. Like,
Yeah.
that.
I just like the way that she says, baby. You are a baby.
That's one of the English words she learned. Yeah.
Yes.
That is what's weird about this too, is he's constantly giving all these speeches in English. It's like, hey, yeah, translate. But most of these people already know the fucking King's English here.
Well, because
Right.
whatchamacallit, Sigourney,
Yes.
in her character, and I have to be clear, her supreme naivete, almost criminal naivete. She's opened all these schools to sort of, because she thinks this company gives a shit about the Na'vi. Like, I mean, like, you know, like if you were a school teacher in like 1664, you're like, oh no, we're just gonna share the land with the natives. Like, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
they don't have all of the history of all of fucking imperialized society. Lady,
Right.
you've got a fucking doctorate from Stanford. You should know where this is going.
We need a little more with her, just like you, because you could easily explain that, like, yeah, this company is terrible, but like, what scientist would turn down an opportunity
Yes,
to
sure.
study a new alien life and a new
Oh, yeah.
planet?
Oh yeah, and of course to be built by the most evil people on Earth. Of course, you would love to do that. The funny thing about talking about how like you can't tell them apart, I could very easily tell Sigourney's apart because they make her look exactly like her.
Yes.
Whereas like
Yep.
Sam Worthington's does not looks like a different character.
That's
And-
right, Chris. You could tell her apart because she's wearing cargo shorts and shit.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Well,
it's
she
just,
also
it's her
she
face.
definitely
Like,
yeah
it's her
she
fucking
definitely
face.
has. It's like Sigourney's chin, like
Yes.
way more than the other characters,
I mean,
for sure. Like including other characters, like we meet right here because all right, so they get captured, or Jake gets captured by the rest of the community when she brings him back or whatever. We meet Natiri's parents, played by the great Wes Studi and CCH Pounder.
Hell yeah.
They don't look anything like those two
No.
characters,
No.
So a lot of this I was like, because they just have these fucking alien names and whatnot, and I was like, all right, well, I'm trying to listen, and I was like, all right, well, that's definitely Wes Studi. Okay, there's definitively CCH Pounder. She's got a beautiful rich voice that you do not mistake for anyone else, but like they're not saying the names right away, so I'm looking on IMDb like, who the fuck are these
yes,
people?
Yeah.
totally. Did you ever see that great clip of Dennis from Always Sunny doing a CCH Pounder impression?
Yes.
It's life changing. just an FYI, if you haven't listening at home.
And so Wes Studi, I think it's him who declares
Yes.
Jake Sully's like the first warrior dream walker.
Mhm.
And that's how they sort of sell it too. They sell it to the Na'vi the same way they sell it to the company, which is like, hey, he's not a scientist. He's a strong warrior guy who knows how to fight and everything.
This is
So-
insane that this whole society just rolls their back over like, well, he likes to kill things, so he's better and he's fine and we can accept him.
But that's the thing is like, and then like, they're like, all right, we're going to let you learn. They're going to teach him the ways, which makes Sigourney Weaver really happy. It's like, oh, wow, this is what I've wanted for so long. Finally, an in for anthropological purposes. And then Stephen Lang's like, excellent. In 3 months, you will, I don't know, tell me where the tree is, which I know where it is
So
already.
is it the big tree over yonder? That's the one they like the most. Okay, the big tree. We'll be attacking that. Thank
The
you for the
big-
intel. That cost people billions of dollars to achieve.
Well, that's like he gets lost in the woods with the Tiri, and like they just like send out one team to go find this $1 billion clone thing
Mhm.
that they created, and like yeah, you would have to send out. Of course, Stephen Lang's gonna find out about this shit.
But they're stoked because they've discovered back at the research command center or whatever that underneath the big tree village where they live is the largest supply
of
unobtainium they've ever recorded on the moon. So he's got 3 months to ingratiate himself and learn the ways of the folks before the dozers get there to bulldoze.
Yeah,
But and he
everything.
also but also he says specifically, and you have 3 months to negotiate their resettlement, which he should try to do. You know what I
No.
mean? Like, because when the dozers come, he's like, "Oh fuck, I just got laid last night, mate." Like, you know what I mean? He needs to be like, "Listen, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be really bad."
Well, I think part of it though is like they won't listen to him
Sure.
until he's one of them, so he's got to get through this whole thing. But then you're right, Steve. The problem is he fucking gets it wet on graduation night,
Yeah.
and he's too cum drunk the next morning to go fucking warn Wes Studi and CCH Pounder about what's going on. And the fucking bulldozer comes and totally wipes out their first fuck pad.
We need to get that unobtainium. First, we're going to get those dozers out there, and then we are going to drill right through that MacGuffinite and get that unobtainium.
Where's the resurrection tree? I want that next. I want that next on the list after we killed the big tree.
Apparently, guys, unobtainium was also in the Core 2003 previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's the 5 million degrees or whatever the fuck?
Yeah.
I just think this
unobtainium.
shared universe, you could easily bring in characters from the hit movie The Core.
Don't they all die?
No, I think that but at least some survive.
Chris,
Aaron
that
Eckhart
doesn't
get back.
Yeah.
Chris, that doesn't stop anyone on Pandora.
Oh, sure. They
Well-
could be reborn as Na'vi, I suppose.
What if it's a thing where, the events of the Core happened, they thought they saved the day, but then trouble started anyway,
Mhm.
and then that forced the society, because this is like 2150 something, right?
Sure.
That forced the society to start concentrating on deep space exploration, and then here we are, 100 plus years later, boom, it's the same universe. I think it works.
I think it works perfectly.
Mhm.
Why do they need unobtainium in that movie?
You usually
Fair enough.
can't obtain it.
I
Oh.
think because the drill needs to be made of it to get to the core.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right.
That might be it. I do not remember that.
And
movie.
listen, I know someone's going to tweet at us that this is a real thing and we're showing our ignorance.
That's all right.
But
Yeah,
the
that's fine.
this is my favorite part of the movie when you get to learn how to do a double jump, how to check your inventory, wherein
Well,
you
I was
know-
gonna say that's the reason he doesn't do any of the shit. He's like, I mean, just to like his point, like, yeah, like he has to get involved, but also do your job or learn to fly a dragon. How about that? How about that as your two options in life? I would also take the fucking flying dragon. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you
yes.
just like no? I'm gonna do my job. No.
of course I want to fuck fly a
Adventure,
dragon,
the call
dude.
to adventure. Come on.
You get it wet on graduation day. You fuck a horse. You fuck a dragon. Like, of course, that's what you're gonna do.
That's what life's about. It's not about telling people, look, your whole life is going to be destroyed in about, 3 months.
So yeah, she does teach him about, hey, this is how you bond with this fucking flying horse thing using your hair and whatever. And so there's a lot of like cutting back and forth between like him on, Pandora, avataring it up, and then like him back at the base or whatever, like informing everybody of what he's learning. And around here is when you see Max, Dr. Patel, spies him talking with the Colonel and Ribisi. And you don't have the scene here. You just see the reaction,
Yes.
the consequence to it. He tells Sigourney what's going on, and she's like, oh, here's an idea. We're all going to go shift camp to one of our science stations up in the floating mountains because there's Avatar tanks up there, and we're far away from fucking Stephen Lang and his bullshit. And all of this whole sequence of Michelle Rodriguez flying them to, get the go to the station up there, rather. It's all fucking great. It's beautiful seeing all the flying mountains and everything. Very cool.
Except for the very clunky James Cameron line of, "You've never heard of the famed floating mountains of Pandora, huh?"
That's a weird thing from Ned or whatever his name is
Norm.
here, Norm. That they don't. They just try to set something up and then
Yes.
immediately quash it, where it's like Norm is jealous because Norm has been studying for all these years to do the Avatar program, and then here comes Jake Sully and just falls ass backwards into it, and he doesn't know anything. And yeah, I think that's where we're using this line, but it's just like characters that are like way too into the thing that they're researching or whatever is sometimes bothersome. And yeah, that line's a clunker.
I mean, the problem with Joel David Moore is that he's just not as hot as Jake Sully is the thing. And his avatar isn't hot either. I gotta say, they did this guy wrong by also making him a little bit Sigourney-like. Like, it looks a little too much like him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, give him a handsome guy. Give him like the betrothed guy look. Come on.
Also, missed opportunity for these flying mountains because when the whole world turns on the imperialists and start, the birds and shit start attacking, how about a fucking giant mountain flying at them?
I'd like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Find a way to bring one of those fuckers down somehow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's talking, it's eating some boulders. It's just,
Listen, look at this last night. I was like, ooh, man, I'm T-minus fucking 5 months from that fucking Zelda game. Look out, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
You'll never hear me podcast again in May.
But yeah, the thing with Norm is so funny though, because like once they get to the, the new station, we get another fucking classic Jake Sully video log. And just in one sentence, he's just like, yeah, Norm's kind of coming around to me now. That's all fine. Anyway, it's like, all right. I guess that's something they tried to give this poor character, and that was it. That's all that made it. And he's like, man, here's a clunker line too, by the way, Steve, in this vlog. He's talking about how he's learning everything, and it's like, she's teaching me archery and learning the stupid language and whatnot. And then he goes, I really hope this tree hugger crap isn't on the final.
Yeah.
There's going to be a final. Isn't that funny?
So funny. God damn. That sucks.
So
this is when the movie gets really soggy, just to be completely honest.
Because it's like 4 training montages stick together back to back.
And it's like, the whole he has to pick his dragon, and it's the dragon that, this part of the ceremony to become a man. You got to, it's the dragon that's going to fight you on the cliff. And then it's like later, and then after this scene where he finds his dragon, he fucks it, he flies it, which is great and all. Then, 45, 50 minutes later, it's like, I need to find this dragon. No, a different one, a bigger one, orange. Yeah. I need to find, it's going to fight me. It's just over and over again.
Great point, Eric. It's such a fucking weird thing because, Zoe Saldaña, she's just like, yeah, Jake Sully. So, you pick your guy and your guy's going to pick you. And if you're a match, like it'll work or whatever. And she's like, and then you're linked for life and you're not going to fly one other fucking bird horse. And I'm like, well, so did that guy now? I mean, I guess at the end of the movie we do see the big red guy fly away, but like,
you have a horned dragon sleeping in your tree. You piece of shit! We were supposed to be mated for life. I'm sorry, I'm not a big red dragon. Tora 4G.
Oh, do you want that look? That look with a big stone thing coming out of the front of my head and out of my chin too? You don't like the normal dragon look anymore?
I'm sorry, I'm 1,000 years old.
It's just, we could have condensed this. You would have gotten the white savior shit earlier, but it's fucking coming anyway.
Of course it is.
Sure. But like, I they do set that up. Like she talks about her grandfather riding like the, this dragon before him. And like that made sense. I wasn't like, oh, fuck this when that happened. I was like, okay.
I wasn't
like
fuck this. I was just like, there was a more economical way to tell this story.
No, I just wanted to know where the other guy was.
Yes,
like,
yes, Chris, it's James Cameron. You identified part of the problem.
Yes, that's just
Chris,
that's his way. Like that's
my point way back was not fuck this, Chris. My point was, are they leaving the blue guy in the garage or something? What is he doing?
He's flying off. He's flying back to his friends, I think.
I want to see where it is.
Okay,
that's
well, may I remind you, you are going to find out the whole history of this dragon, probably in the third one of this movie.
No, I mean, that dragon just goes back and just fucking orders too much pizza and listens to the magnetic fields, feeling sorry for himself.
Way too long.
So he goes, the first challenge is, he's like, you gotta go where the banshees are. Ooh, rah. Vomit with that shit. But
that's the thing. It's James Cameron. We can't be critical of the military because the military rocks.
Yeah.
It's cool dude stuff, dude. It's
cool
dudes
dude
being
stuff.
Dudes and armies being army and they're armying. And
well, they protected him while he went down to like visit the sea creatures, I guess. So yeah, he's probably because he became a documentarian for like a decade between Titanic and this. And just did the sea voyage stuff.
Right. And then he learned that no one wanted to watch it. So now he's back.
He's like, fine, okay, I'll make a narrative feature again. I'm coming back, baby.
Yeah, that is kind of funny that it's like, nobody wants to watch my Titanic documentary. I'm going to make another one. Nobody wants to watch my Marianas Trench documentary. Guess I'll just go make Avatar and show you all.
All right, that's it. I have to build my own spaceship and document the whole thing. Okay. All right, that's actually going to be as expensive as Avatar. Okay, I'll do Avatar. Fuck it.
Less dangerous that way. So yeah, he goes to find his forever horse, and this process is great. The whole like you got to tame it or whatever, because he's just choking this thing out.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome, man. He's got it like a chokehold, like you're mine now, you're mine now. It's like let me go, Dad.
At some point in this movie, because this is when he's like, yeah, I'm learning all sorts of ways of being Navi. And you do see the, what do you call it there? You see one Navi funeral, and it is just a fucking Navi in a hole.
Yes,
dude.
it's so good.
And he looks like Dominic, you son of a bitch.
It is a shallow grave, probably on the side of a road.
Yeah, they had a problem with someone from another tribe, so they beat him to death with aluminum baseball bats.
They believe in ditch burial here. They just throw the dead in the. That is literally what it seems like. They're just like,
Yes.
yeah, we just throw them wherever, and then become part of the earth next.
That's awesome.
That is a nice way of doing it. Yeah, I like that.
So we get there's another vlog where, and this is kind of interesting, and they don't again explore it that much, but it's a cool idea where he's like, oh, my human body now feels like what the dream is because I've been spending so much time with these people, and like there is a fascinating like mental fuck around with all of that.
Oh, yeah.
That I guess Chris Cabin's fucking sawzall excuses it's James Cameron, but like. Give me some of that. That's an interesting idea.
Well, I think that's actually like I forget who, but I think someone on Earth had the I don't know, tribe or wherever had the notion that like the dream world was the actual world and really more so than the world we're in right now. So I think we're kind of just piggybacking off that idea here.
Starting to believe we're all living in a simulation. And Pandora's the only true reality. Me and my friend Matrix Kid.
I'm telling you, if he could chat with his buddies and like do the soft N word in the chat while he was doing this, he would do it forever. He would be really happy. He would be drinking the Monster Energy drinks and just doing it.
Call of Duty and some other things.
Yeah.
That's an idea. Call of Duty, Pandora.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that'll happen.
I would love to shoot some of these things in a video game. The people and the blue guys.
You want everybody. You just want to shoot all of them.
Oh, yeah.
So, Stephen Lang, because they've been away in the mountains, doing stuff. He's
Hey,
like,
Jim, am I still in this goddamn movie or what?
Exactly, dude. He comes in. He's like, excuse me. You've been gone for 6 weeks. Am I here still or what?
Can I kill the tree yet or what? Come on.
I mean, it has been the second act for fucking ever already. What the fuck? I'm supposed to be in the third act.
One of them scientists told me that tree's been standing for centuries. It's been standing long enough. We got to get that fucker down.
Soggy Wheaties, Jim. Soggy Wheaties. You know what we say about soggy Wheaties, Jim? You never eat them. Soggy ass second half of your movie.
It is soggy.
Might as well be oatmeal. Why not just never mind the Wheaties? Just get the oatmeal at that point.
I'm going to get a little Moby Dick charm for my little bracelet. You know why? Because this is taking for fucking ever. You might as well give me whale facts, Jim.
Now I'm suspecting the big tree over there. I'm going to wait for that intel to come back on that big tree. Going to be sitting here for about 6 weeks.
Stephen, again, hi, James. I told you didn't have to be in character all the time when we're, I'm not like that. I don't need the method you don't have to.
Well, why the hell have I been waking up and getting the makeup every morning then, Jim?
Well, I do. I like the fact that you just kept the claw marks on your head the whole time. I do think that's nice. But yeah, we do need to do a little makeup in the beginning. I mean, come on, Stephen.
Jim, I'm spending all my days looking like a dang X-Man villain. This is ridiculous.
You know me, I go method with this stuff. So yeah, I'm getting the fights at Buffalo Wild Wings and whatnot.
All right, we're gonna have to get you in the mech suit sooner than later. Jesus goddamn Christ!
Last night I was in a New Zealand Buffalo Wild Wings and I ate a man's eyes like jujubes, Jim.
Because that's what the Navi would do. They're putting it in my brain.
All right, Jim, you got me. You said I'll be in the sequel even though I die. That'll be soon though, right? That's going to be quick, like right after this one.
You're making a movie for $140 million. How much will it cost to bribe a jury? Get me off this jujube rap.
So whatever. Yeah, Stephen Lang he's like, all right, you've provided me with 2 things. I could have looked up myself on the computer. So you've held up your end of the bargain. Now you're going to leave tonight to go get your legs. And he's like, nah, I'm going to hang back, finish this whole thing. And trust me, I'm going to be able to negotiate the terms of their
'cause
relocation.
actually, I know it's bad timing for me to get my legs back. It's kind of my bar mitzvah tonight. It's the ceremony where I'll
Totally.
become a man.
Navi bar mitzvah, spooky, scary.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do a lot of dancing in circles. I'm getting ready for it.
Be scary.
I can't have you out there by that big tree stepping on glass and doing whatever else Judaism stuff. It's about my understanding of it.
They have a lot of raisin-based pastries that I'm looking forward to trying.
Wait, are you high while you're reading from the Torah at your bar mitzvah? I don't know, just cramming in a fucking Serious Man reference. Why not?
Sure.
Why
Oh,
not?
Oh.
Why not? Yeah, just there you go. If you're playing charades with me, I suck at it.
So whatever, he has this ceremony, and Wes Studi, welcomes him as part of the people, and he connects to this tree and can hear all the ancestors gabbing and whatnot.
Now that you're one of us, is there anything you have to tell us? Any impending doom?
Let me ask you this: now that you're one of us, will our entire civilization be nearly destroyed in the next 36 hours?
Do you have explosives? You can tell us. We're ancestors. Just tell us. Do you have explosives that could kill everybody?
They also say something. Sigourney Weaver in the middle of the movie says something. The trees, their consciousnesses get downloaded in, and every tree to the 12th power is something else. I just got lost.
Oh, yeah.
It is a real, everything is connected. We're all connected.
Sure.
All the trees are connected to one another, kind of like a huge network, kind of like what they're studying now to believe with mushrooms, I think, do this.
Yes.
But yeah, they can all kind of talk to each other. And yes, the Na'vi can hook in and upload their fucking Mastodon profile and whatever.
It's kind of cool. This whole the planet is like a brain, and that sort of brings
Yes.
it back for when the birds in the sky, etc., can start attacking them later on. It's like the
Yes.
entire being of Pandora recognizes this threat.
Yeah, and Jake Sully's a bad boy because he asks the tree to fight the war for him.
That's a little later.
He's
but
not
yes.
supposed to do that, but he keeps on asking this tree a bunch of stuff. He's like, "Oh, can I also fuck this girl who's betrothed to the prince of the fucking the tribe?"
Yeah, she fucking, Neytiri takes Jake out and they're walking around like a congratulatory stroll and whatever. And she's like, oh, now you can pick a woman. Slee Slack is a good fucking cook. Oh, that's cool. And Beverly over here is great at archery and
But I
whatever.
don't,
And he's like,
Beverly.
I don't want Beverly, and I don't want Sleeslack.
Candace Bergen is a great cook.
But she's like, he's like, oh, I've already chosen someone. She says, I too have already chosen someone. And it was just a fucking blue makeout session.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they fuck. Am I nuts? Did I fucking what do you call it there? Berenstain Bear this? I thought they put those ponytails
That's what
together.
I thought too.
I did too. I did
thought
have
so.
that memory.
I had that memory too. I wonder if I was just thinking of because you see it with the horse.
Right.
yeah,
And that was
I think-
bestiality, technically.
Yeah.
So, for the last, 12 years, we've been making fun of the.
Oh wait,
wrong
hold
thing.
on. I'm looking.
Oh
at
no,
that.
does it
Oh,
happen?
it doesn't have. Well, let's
Dude, if
roll
they
it back.
cut it for
Did Disney
Disney
cut it?
Plus,
I don't know if it was Disney Plus or Avatar Love Scene. Here we go. I'm pulling. We'll keep
No, we'll
talking.
do some
I'll just-
research. Okay, no, this is going to be great. Now, just describe the slimes you see coming out of their mouths.
There was never any slime, Eric.
I wish
dude,
there
can
was.
I just tell you?
wish
Can I
there
tell
was.
you? Hang on a second. Steve's looking up his thing. I did a cursory glance and just found this headline: slash film from earlier this
Ooh.
year.
No.
The Avatar love scene we're still thinking about. Touch grass.
Ew.
All right.
What
so
are you
kissing.
doing?
Wait, hold on.
There's the tendrils.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
there's
doing
the
it.
screen
They-
grab.
So
Okay.
what? No, I'm looking
They
at it right now. I don't know if it's Disney Plus or if it was. Yeah, no, that the tendrils are making out with each
They
other.
took
Okay.
it out because,
Yeah.
oh my God.
It's too sensual, I guess.
But I've also there's been a few of these because Amazon does this shit too. I think it's things that are made fun of a bunch on the internet. Like
yeah.
Is
they
that
literally
right?
have I think they have a division now where they just when it goes streaming, they're like, fuck it, cut it. Like
the fucking losers
I
division.
forget what it was, but this happened.
Amazon Losers Division.
Hey,
They
holy
definitely have
shit!
that.
Okay, hang on a second. So this slash film article, which I was making fun of, because that is just it's
It's
the
in the chat, by
saddest-
the way. The video, just in case.
the saddest title. But they say that sex scene was longer at one point. The script was nominated for a WGA award, at which point it made public. And I guess on ebert.com, they posted an excerpt. Here it is. Neytiri says, "Kissing is very good, but we have something better." She pulls him down until they are kneeling, facing each other on the faintly glowing
Yes.
moss. Neytiri takes the end of her cue and raises it. Jake does the same with trembling anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
The tendrils at the ends move with a life of their own, strained to be joined. Macro shot. The tendrils intertwine with gentle undulations.
My God, I just watched it on YouTube. It actually exists. I cannot
Yes.
believe it's gone. I mean, this is a sex scene between two blue people, and we're not sticking cocks. I don't understand
It's
why
not
you
even
would
sex.
remove
It's two
this.
ponytails touching
I
each
thought
other.
this would be the safest sex scene in the world, but even this has to be fucking
Nope.
neutered.
Nope, it has to be neutered. There can be no intimate acts. You have to understand that, even if it's just hair sex.
I can't believe I got fucking robbed from hair sex last night, Disney Plus. What am I fucking paying for?
That makes me fucking sick.
I don't know if it's
Where is my $7.99 a month going, you pieces of shit?
I don't know if it might not be Disney Plus. If you're yelling at me in the chat, maybe there was a different cut or something. But
Here it goes. Here it goes. Oh,
Yes.
God, I'm watching it.
Yes,
I
I'm-
knew I saw this in the
Yeah.
I
theater.
definitely
Yeah.
saw that.
I definitely saw this.
because it stuck with me. It changed
Which is
me.
honestly a good thing. I
Sure.
want something to stick with me, and I don't
Yeah,
want.
it's the only part of the movie I remember.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to remember it for 11 years until your sequel's off the ground, and then suddenly you remove it from the film and act like it never existed. I feel like Cameron has got a lot of oversight on this stuff, so it'd be weird that it was removed without his blessing. Maybe he was okay with it.
I mean, once the
removal.
studio has it, the studio has it, especially with streaming rights. Like, it's not under his purview.
But with a big guy like that, I mean, that might be. Well, I was trying inside baseball. I was once trying to get because when I was working at Showtime, I think we had I think it was like Django Unchained, and my boss wanted me to find out if they could provide a pan and scan version.
Oh,
And I
for
had to
that movie. Wow.
I had to cause enough stink because of my boss, who doesn't understand how things work,
Sure.
that I had to run it up the chain of command to the point where they were like, yeah, Tarantino said fuck no.
Okay. I mean,
excellent.
I think there was definitely like a long time where directors had say over like what got shown on TV. But I get like Michael Mann famously like had a different cut so that it would take up longer on TV for Heat. But I think that changed with streaming. With streaming, I think it's all
is interesting. I'd be very curious to know if that has happened, because I even remember a time when Paul Thomas Anderson didn't like the way The Master looked on Showtime on his television, and I had to send the tape back to him, and eventually concluded it was just because this is way inside baseball, but for when a TV network broadcasts something, then like if you have Time Warner cable, that's like it could get fucked up in that process as well.
Right.
From going
If
from that
the
to there.
cable company's like putting it out.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
here's something.
Okay.
Apparently, maybe what we all saw was the extended version.
In the theater,
I
though?
don't. You haven't misremembered. I'm reading something from Dextero.com. Who knows?
I don't know what that is.
But why it's the article is why the Avatar re-release doesn't have the hair scene. They just re-released it in theaters, and like everyone's like, "Hey, what about the hair scene?" Like we were just talking about.
Jesus
In
Christ.
the re-release, blah blah blah. You haven't misremembered the moment when they joined ponytails with their horrible tendrils. A few months after the original, a few months after a nice little Dexerto.com. A few months after the original movie hit cinemas, a special extended edition was released, which included the scene you're thinking about. The scene was also included in the extended version of the DVD and Blu-ray. You can watch it here. I guess I don't know. Like, I guess we saw the extended version because I definitely saw that. I don't know.
Like I don't have memory of watching Avatar other than the theater, so it's very
I've only seen it
weird.
once. Yes,
Yeah,
I've only seen it once, and I rember talking about
Maybe
the ponytails.
The
match.
New York market was like hot enough to take the sex scene on.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe
like
only. Yeah.
Those fucking East Coast degenerates can take it. But, we slip it into the multiplexes in Nebraska and shit. You got to get that tendril scene out.
Fascinating.
Honestly, extremely disappointing. I thought it was weird I didn't
Yeah.
see it, but it's like even worse that was removed.
Yeah, that's very
Well, I'll
weird.
tell you this, guys. I'm just happy that proof once again, constant weed use does not ruin your memory.
That's very
Of
true.
course. That's the proof right there.
So we get this rude awakening scene the next morning. He's fucking cum drunk. This is, I think, Steve, what you were talking about, where she's like, you got to sleep more and eat and whatnot.
Yes.
And it's like they're about to get run over by this huge steamrolling fucking Fern Gully rainforest destroying contraption. And he won't wake up because Sigourney Weaver's making him eat the worst looking scrambled eggs I've seen since the Deer Hunter.
Oh God, yeah, and she forces it down his mouth, and I would just be like, I will starve, thank you very much.
And he's like, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna eat that fast. And yeah, I know I smell, and I haven't taken a shower in a month or two, but I got to get back to my game, Ma. I gotta get back to my game.
Listen, man, I know my bowls stink, and you want to throw up at the breakfast table, but I'm really in the middle of an epic session. I just got laid last night.
You know what's funny too is now that I'm thinking about it, they do a good job of making the human part of his character look like a haggard gamer as this goes on, because like his hair's getting longer and they make it just like puffier and messy constantly. He's wearing bad t-shirts. It looks perfect. He's just missing the Red Bull can of the monster.
Look, Grace, I've just met Sephiroth, and he upgraded my bow, and I need to go after him. So we got to get back in. I can't be eating any of this garbage. I need Monster Energy drink and no eggs.
Oh my God, it's awesome. But yeah, this huge crawler scene, he eventually does get in there and wake up, and he tries to stop them, and he jumps up on top of the thing, smashes the fucking security cameras, and you see Stephen Lang like, say one good goddamn minute.
Well, what do you know? The third act is showing up. Now it's my time to shine.
My plant has turned against me when I knew this was going to happen. I just knew it. I'm going to kill him right now.
Now that I've received that intel, that in no way affects my decision.
Well, that's the best part. So they haul him in, right? And they're like, listen, buddy, this is, it's fucked up. This party is over, et cetera, et cetera. And they're like, but I just need to, whatever. I just need to negotiate the truce. And then they play one of his real world confessionals against him, where it's just like, yeah, but didn't you say this 3 months ago? And which is a scene is a scene we absolutely should have seen already, but we haven't, which is him being like, they'll never resettle. They love their land. And he's like, well, there you go, everybody. Let's do it. Third act, baby. Let's find it.
Oh, so it's exactly what Sigourney Weaver's been telling us for a couple of years before this guy even showed up. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is actually another moment of a human and an avatar using profanity, and it's weird because Mother's Milk says at one point, I think maybe it's one of the parents is like, you mated with this man or something like that.
Yeah.
And Sigourney Weaver just goes, oh shit. But it's her like in cargo shorts as an avatar saying, oh shit.
Yeah.
Weird. It's just weird. And when they fucking take Jake Sully into custody right here,
the Navi, you mean?
No, the part where Lang and company walk up to them.
Yeah.
And they slap these like handcuffs on him. And it looks like those 90s like slap bracelets. You remember those?
Yeah. They look exactly like them.
We're now using them for evil.
First, they were just things you had fun with your friends at the mall with, but now, evil.
You don't want to see what the fidget spinner's up to, let me tell you that much.
We've evolved as a species. We have slap cuffs now, and we have finger cuffs as well. That's where your spinners are going.
How you think the aliens are coring out the cow's asshole? Fidget spinners.
Absolutely.
We'll put little teeth on them, and they just bore right in, fella.
I love, because they're having another control room fight, and I love Sigourney Weaver going at it with Stephen Lang, and then she goes to Giovanni Ribisi, you need to muzzle your dog.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking awesome, dude. Do not fuck with Sigourney Weaver,
Is this
especially in a James Cameron movie.
Is this when he's like, "Give me just an hour. I'll definitely do what I was
Right.
supposed to do for 3 whole goddamn months."
Yes, exactly, dude. He's got senioritis. He's doing the book report at the last second. And yeah, Ribisi's like, all right, you got 1 month and then we're going to get there, man. So you better fucking do your diligence.
And this fucking confession, I was laughing this whole thing because he's like, okay, so they're going to obliterate your entire home. And yes, I fucked you, even though I lied to you. And yes, I fucked your betrothed, but like, you should listen to me. you should listen. Yeah, I have a good message for you. There's nothing you can do about it.
Even though this is, yes, your suspicions of me being a demon in a false body. Okay, listen, don't get mad, but it is a false body.
Yeah.
I mean, he's exactly a demon in a false body.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to
But
tell you,
hey,
folks.
listen, Wes Studi, all I got to say, me, Jake Sully, this is on you, mate, because you did the ceremony. I put the glop all over my face. You made me one of yours. Nothing you can do about it now.
I'm in, baby.
What's that thing you said about being a seer? Why didn't you see this? You see all this happen? Aren't you a seer?
You can kill me. I'm just going to go to Navi heaven because you made me one, you dumb bitch. I'll see you in Navi heaven.
And so he is trying to warn these people when the attack starts.
Yes.
And I paused it right here, man. And unfortunate news, there was an hour left. In the
Oh, yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I did the same
You just
thing.
realize it's like, oh man, we are in the long haul now.
I thought this seemed like a climax of some sort, but
Yeah, it's the first climax. It's James
Yes.
Cameron movie. We need 2.
Yeah, this is the fucking Tree 11, dude. This is like,
oh yeah.
they're tied up. They're looking like they're about to be sacrificed to King Kong.
Mm.
And then like CCH Pounder comes up and she's like, all right, if you're going to help us, then help us. And she frees them and everything. And Michelle Rodriguez gets involved in it at
Right.
one
Well,
point.
Well, no, Michelle Rodriguez just decides not to do it. She goes,
Right, yeah.
fuck
She
this.
refuses to do the bombing. She's like, I didn't sign up for this shit. That's
Well,
what she says.
even though you pretty much did.
I mean, you totally
Come on.
yeah,
One of the things I would love to know, especially if you die as an avatar, if you die for real, which you don't find out until the end, I would like to know what unobtainium does. I know it's worth a lot of money, and I know that's kind of all
Right.
that matters. But it does matter. Is it like whether it's fuel or if it's jewelry? Do you know what I mean? Like there's a huge difference.
We need it to make Game Boys. There's a revival of Game Boys. People liking Game Boys these days.
There's
I mean,
microchips being made for the major planet that we're a moon for. And actually, they use the unobtainium to make the microchips.
Yeah, well,
I would
Cyberpunk.
wager just because of how direct and obvious of like an environmental message this
Yes.
movie is. Unobtainium is oil, and we are fueling all sorts of things.
But don't
with
be
it.
chicken shit and do that. Be like, yeah, we need to. I need to drive my SUV to work in Pandora time, motherfucker. So I need some unobtainium to go in it.
Spell it out. Look how Dune
Yes.
did it so well. Like, yes, this is a drug, and it's also how interstellar space travel is possible.
It matters so much what we are getting from this
Because
thing.
you
know what I
can't-
mean?
That's the thing is James Cameron is trying to world build without world building.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's
Like,
it's another reason why it's just when I watch this movie, I'm like, pretty colors and cool graphics with fight scenes.
Yeah,
Listen, everybody, this is a couple of 30 years ago. We found some unobtainium, and the guy made a dildo out of it, and it is the best dildo anyone's ever made. And yes, we only make it's a 20 million per kilo dildo, but it is worth it.
And that is how unobtainium becomes funobtainium by making it buttobtainium.
And the whole like space marine angle is designed to be like your brain will fill in the rest. We don't need to go through things.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
That's right.
And again, if it wouldn't it be amazing if while you're fucking blowing this tree to high hell and all these natives are crying, these native Navis are crying, there was American flags on these ships. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that just push it to a level where it means something?
Or the Earth flag.
Or a flag that looks like something representing a country on Earth.
But like people are already like, it's so on the nose. Can you fucking imagine if it was like that on the like? I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like all
it
this
is
stuff.
obvious. Yeah,
but it's
I mean,
it would
just like
Yes, either way it's on the nose, but you could say one way is maybe less is more toothless than the other, but
Yeah,
It's just a richer story if you do that, though.
I mean,
and
to
it's
me,
not
it's-
that much of an extra lift at all.
Sure, like, I guess I understand that, but like also like this movie's anti-American bona fides or like anti-militaristic mindset or whatever is not up for question to me. It's like the whole like it's like what we were doing in Iraq was fucking criminal. Like that's we're getting right at the point where like didn't Obama just get elected when this came out?
yeah, pretty much,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like we're just reckoning with that. Like to me, it's so fucking obvious what it's talking about, and then like everybody yelled at it for being obvious, and then everybody's like, well, you know what? It could be a little bit more obvious.
Right. Avatar: The Way of Waterboarding, please.
Yes, I mean,
but yeah,
they might do it. They might do it.
That's at least I don't know. To me, I agree with you, Chris. Like I know it's a rock and a hard place. Like yeah, I would probably be yelling about it the other way. I think you might be right about that, but at least I don't know. Like at this point in the movie, I was feeling so little. I just
Sure.
kind of wanted to solidify that as an anti-American military statement for clear and for sure.
Sure.
It would have moved me a little.
I mean, it doesn't even have to go full anti-American military or whatever, but like I need to know what Earth is. I need to know I need a context of some kind.
Are there still countries? Is it a one world government like Star Trek situation? I just want to know what that looks like. And again, I've been saying it the whole episode. A fucking scroll will fix it.
Yeah,
it really
that's
will.
true.
And I won't have these questions because I read it at the beginning. And maybe it's Jake Sully that narrated it. Maybe you get Sigourney's beautiful voice to do it. Whatever.
You definitely need narration because I'm not reading that goddamn papyrus font the entire fucking time.
Sure.
Yeah. So the Tree 11 happens. All this looks really good. It's that tree fucking falls, man, and a lot of people getting crushed underneath it. I will say this about it. A lot of action going on in here. A lot of ins and outs and what have yous, as the dude would say. I was able to follow this whole sequence.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Oh no, the action is really clear and good. You know what I mean? Like it's great even. Like, you know what I mean? The explosions,
Yeah.
where, especially compared to stuff that I'm watching now, and I'm not just even going to pick on just the Marvel movies. A lot of stuff, a lot of quick cutting, a lot of
Black Adam, one of the worst movies of the year. That's not a Marvel movie.
It's not.
Let's go with that.
a lot of quick cutting, a lot of like unclear who's where, why is it? You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
and especially even the last fight with all the great, like, the dragon is fucking throwing these helicopters around. Like you see it, you feel it, you know it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
which is something we don't get a lot in action movies. So points
Yeah.
to this movie for that.
So in this initial attack, unfortunately, the Great West Studi, his character eats shit and dies, and Neytiri is fucking furious with Jake Sully right here, chews him out and everything when he like tries to apologize or whatever. And they the Blackwater dudes start dropping them back out of the Avatar bodies again. You push the red button, it like emergency wake up, and we're watching these big blue fuckers just drop to the ground. And it's a weird Avatar commercial break right here. It is a full-on quiet fade to black, and then we come back from selling dish detergent, and we're like back into the movie.
Well, we're back into the movie where they're in jail. They're all in jail. All the rebellious.
Insert disc 3.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you would have like because Titanic had 2 tapes. You would definitely have
Right.
3 tapes maybe for Avatar, just because of the look of the thing. But like they're in jail, and I give it to them. Like I was waiting for like, oh god, they're gonna have to break. Like it's gonna be a setup of like where they're on now, what they're doing. Like, are they taking apart the tree? No. Michelle Rodriguez immediately shows up as like jailbreak over.
Yes.
Let's go.
Mhm.
And like everybody just goes and gets back into the fucking. Gets their Monster Energy drinks, gets their fucking, their Cheetos Flamin' Hots getting there, ready to go, and they're back in trying to fight for Pandora.
And this is when Stephen Lang's like, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fuck that other tree. I fucked one big tree. I ain't done fucking trees, motherfucker.
Well, I looked at that one tree that I fucked up, and I was like, God damn it. I wish there was a bigger. Look at that tree. It's bigger. Let's go fuck that tree up now.
Well, he says
I've had a vendetta against trees, and I find out there's one bigger than a redwood. I thought a redwood was the biggest tree they had, but apparently these fucking Pandorans have these huge trees that they can talk to, all special like.
He says something that is so weird, and I mean, like, it's actually probably one of the more interesting lines in the movie, but it is so weird. It's like, I am gonna do something that is gonna go deep into their racial memory. And I'm like, whoa, dude, what are we talking about?
Dude, and then he fucking later, like towards the end of the movie, he says to Jake Sully, he's like, how do you feel being a traitor to your own race?
Yes.
I'm like, go.
Yeah, we're doing. I mean, hey, we're doing it.
Yes, that is
that's
true.
that's where I'm like, we're doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I agree. I just see 4 minutes ago, and I didn't think we were doing it, but there we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So Trudy breaks them out, which I get it. It's economical. We're getting back into it, but it's so quick that I was like, why even bother? Like bringing them to another place just to have a very quick and unexciting jailbreak. But whatever. We steal a chopper. I love this. Stephen Lang is so fucking furious. He tells like the whole thing. I don't know if we mentioned this, but on Pandora, humans can't breathe, so you have to have oxygen masks on. And he opens the fucking like command room door to go out and fire at this helicopter, and he yells back to the office like, hey, masks on, and just opens this door while holding his breath, wildly firing his gun. Pretty hilarious.
I think he even like kicks that door open. It's pretty dramatic.
Yes, it is a kick. You're right.
And he actually at this point he shoots Sigourney Weaver. And oops,
this is gonna ruin my whole day.
Yeah.
Great line from her.
This is where this whole fucking the rebirthing scene. This is you could lift this whole fucking thing out. It looks cool and all that, but like, I really love how most of this looks. Nothing looks worse than the quasi-naked Sigourney Weaver being carted through like the land of light to the tree of rebirth.
Yes.
Like this looks so bad. I was like, could we stop this?
And why is she fucking? Your point is she's nearly nude. Why is she dressed like fucking Poison Ivy?
I don't know.
Well, I think it's because you don't want to show if she was naked, you would see something.
Also, and this whole sequence also reminded me of another movie, Ready Player One, where I know that came after, but it's like you're moving this trailer so that we can go into the game world in it, and there's now the real world obstacles are it hurting the whole.
Oh yeah, okay. It took me a second to remember the part of the movie you're talking about, but all right.
Yeah.
I mean, this is obviously sets up what's going to happen at the end of the movie. Which when you see this scene, you're like, okay, I know what the end of the movie is.
Right. It's like you got to see that this process can fail, so that like.
Yes.
At the end of the movie, you're like, "Oh boy, is the main character gonna make it?"
But to your guys' point, like at this point, they've been fudging so much and just like being like, you get it, right? For so many things. Like I'm just like at the end, like, oh yeah, you take him to this tree and he can connect it. It's fine.
Yep.
Like
yeah,
I'm actually fine with that. Like I'm not at this point. I'm not expecting an explanation about this shit because it's just so like
how else
overwhelming.
How else are you going to see the Na'vi opening ceremonies, dude?
I suppose that's true. I suppose that I didn't think about that one.
And this is when like they're like, hey man, fuck you because you fucked up our whole civilization. You killed my dad, et cetera, et cetera. And he's like, well, what if I had a big red dragon? What's that doing anything for you? Like, I mean, like, it is such an easy out. Like, he has destroyed their civilization, destroyed their home, killed his beloved's father, and he's like, red dragon can't get mad. And it's like, I guess so, dude.
Didn't you tell me something, the chosen one would ride the red dragon? Well, here I am, baby.
That's like a famous like piece of shit logic. Is like, well, if I just do that, she'll forgive me. So all I got to do is fucking train the red dragon, and I'm out of it, baby. I got it. And then he does it. Of course, we don't even fucking get to see it. My number one problem with this is I don't fucking get to see what would be a cool scene, him trying to get this fucking dragon.
Well, he jumps on its back, and that's interesting enough.
Sure,
but then we cut away. Yeah, because there's a whole there. I like a bunch of stuff about this movie, and like just like him exploring the world at one point, being like, I became a great hunter on dragon back, whatever back, and death from above, this, that, and the other thing. But there's also other predators. So we established this fucking thing. And then later on, he's like, well, it's the biggest thing and it doesn't expect anyone to attack it. when he jumps down onto it. So I thought it was
it's a cool little logic thread that he has. I do like that.
I just wish it was more succinct.
Yeah. Sure. So Sigourney eats shit, and Jake Sully gives this rousing speech where, like fucking Kevin Costner in Yellowstone, this motherfucker yells the line, "This is our land," which I thought was pretty
And
funny.
I'm running for governor.
Or whatever Wes Bentley's doing, or whatever the fuck's happening on that show.
It's about right.
Getting a little closer to the governor's mansion.
That's right. So they go around, they like fly around the moon for a little while, getting like other clans involved. So we get like the actual like ground horse people and the sea people, which I guess maybe more in Way of Water. We'll be seeing those folks or whatever. And then like, so we're doing that recruitment process, and Stephen Lang's like giving his own speech. And this is some real like, we will fight terror with terror. And this is Steve where he says, blast a crater in their racial memories so deep they'll never come back.
There's also this weird line where like it's like he says something about an Aboriginal horde.
Yeah.
And like they're more pouring in every day. And I'm like, oh,
Yep.
There's the border talk.
Oh,
Okay.
because you're totally right, because he's talking about in the last 2 days they've like doubled their manpower to this. By
Yes.
this point they'll have enough people to overrun our facility. Look at them all climbing over the wall. Yeah,
There's
exactly.
a Navi caravan coming in. Okay, is it November? Then it is definitely on its way.
People are like have a special flag for the anti-Navi unit. Like it's got a blue, but a special blue line.
Oh, speaking of special blue lines, when at the end of this, when
Navi cocaine.
that'd be cool, right? But Michelle Rodriguez's Trudy character paints blue on her gunship so that it's on the Navi side. I didn't notice that the first time.
And then she's all painted. She's also got war paint on her too.
Yeah.
She's gone crazy, which is great.
For 4 more minutes before she's dead. But this is when they get all the tribes from all over. And I mean, like, I guess we'll find out.
And this is, by the way, when this big battle sequence happens here at the end, the arrows actually work against things, and they didn't at the tree fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe they're better arrows, dude.
They have to get it from the horse people and the sea people.
Yes,
he does do a
one.
prayer to Iwa or whatever, and he's like, listen, this is what these people do. They're not going to just stop at this tree. They're going to destroy your whole world. They're going to build a Starbucks, man. It's going to be gross.
What do you think?
They're going to build new apartment buildings in the trees, and you're not going to be able to afford to rent them.
Well, that's one of the things he has in one of his little confessionals. He's just like, they're not gonna do it for light beer and blue jeans.
Oh yes,
which is a good line.
Yes, I like that.
I think it's the Dr. Patel there is trying to communicate like, oh, I just heard him giving this speech, blah blah blah. He goes, he's talking about some sort of shock and awe, and I was like, yep.
And so it's the big fight, right?
Yeah, the big battle.
And like again,
it starts with Stephen Lang. I'm sorry, Steve, the fun in a sea of funny, weird lines that Stephen Lang has in this movie. When he gets on the comm to like register, like get everybody organized for the big invasion, he goes, "This is Papa Dragon."
Oh yeah, dude. Ooh, here comes
Papa Dragon.
Here comes Papa Dragon, baby.
Yeah. I saw that they think they have dragons. That's it, They think you have. I'm a dragon. How about that shit? I'm a dragon now.
I'm a grand dragon.
I'm a Papa Dragon. Do you see? Do you see?
Yes, exactly. He gets to go, take it back at that fucking Tom Noonan. Tom Noonan should be a Navi on the bottom. Ooh, Tom Noonan, the Navi. All you need to do is paint that fucker blue. He's already 10 feet tall.
Yeah,
totally. You don't need any of that fucking computer shit, Jim Cameron.
Well, just give him the ponytail, maybe.
Yeah, could be an elder.
But yeah, I mean, whatever. It's a big, ridiculous action scene that you can follow every bit of it. It's 25 minutes
honestly,
long,
and it's good. Like there's some great moments here. Even when the Mother's Milk fella dies, like him jumping onto that ship and just grabbing dudes and tossing them off.
Yep,
I was
hucking them off.
So happy to see him throw people. I was like, yes, throw them.
But then he's immediately assassinated, which is unfortunate.
He's dead. And what do you call it there? What's her face? Natiri falls down to earth, and she joins the sort of the horse campaign against the mech suits.
Well,
And-
her dragon gets shot down, and there's a nice little goodbye to the dragon. But then, like she's pinned down before the hammerhead elephants come to the rescue.
Yes.
Like she's about to die. Like she's about to give it all. And then, of course, Elway provides.
Yes, I do like seeing like the infantry lines, the ground and air battle, going back and forth the two. And then, yes, of course, when these hammerhead dinosaurs start attacking these infantry units, it's great.
Yeah.
Awa has heard you. I love that this movie has something in common with the end of Ace Ventura 2. You guys remember that? When Jim Carrey calls all the animals and he's like, friends, quadrupeds, lend me your ears.
I forgot that. I just remembered guano.
A source of nitrate. Unobtainium, a source of
also
nitrate.
Another dicey conflict.
It's about as dicey as it gets in that movie. But yeah, a lot of funny stuff here. There is a good, before she is totally bursting into flames, Michelle Rodriguez like fires on Stephen Lang. He's like, what in the fuck? And it's a great oops.
Yeah.
She's good, man. I think she's a lot of fun.
I love her. Again, and that's the thing. That's not even a slight. She loves to be the fifth bill in a big movie, and that's great.
Yeah.
It's a great career.
I also love the dude who. So they're readying these two huge pallets of explosives, and the ship sort of bucks at one point, and the one pallet that they're about to drop falls backwards, and that motherfucker gets crushed between two of them.
Great.
Oh, what a death!
Poor Davy got crushed between the fucking pads.
The big explosion, and then this is when Jake finds the Papa Dragon, and he kind of blows it up, and like they go down to hell together a little
Right.
bit.
Oh yeah.
He definitely does. He blows it up by gingerly tossing grenades like Dolph Lundgren in Universal Soldier.
Yeah, but then Lang has a great idea of jumping into this mech suit as this aircraft is going down, and now we can get our big final battle on the floor of the forest here.
And it's a rad situation when you think about it for a sec. Like, he has lost his ship and, all of his dudes or whatever, and his only resort is to be in basically like his militaristic version of the Avatar suit, right?
Yeah.
So it's like two avatars basically fighting each other.
Very true, the mech suit. And I also like how the mech suit functions, where it's like being a person, like you whip out a gun or you whip out a gigantic knife that must be like 6 feet tall, which is awesome.
And a robot with a knife, you're always gonna win. I'm
Absolutely.
always like, you know what,
Yep.
dude? I was like 2.5 stars. Oh no, 3 stars. That robot has a knife. Okay, got it. Yeah, that's
Super
cool. That's cool.
That's
That's
super
like
anime villain to me.
Yes,
it's just
exactly.
having
Oh,
that
yeah.
super big knife like that.
Well, that was always on every episode of BattleBots, dude. When you saw the one that had like a saw on it or something, you knew that guy was winning.
That's right.
yeah.
We're gonna stop the Navi. I've got a big knife on my big mech suit. That's right. I'm gonna get him really bad. Watch me do it.
Oh yeah.
So it's a good fight or whatever, and then just when it looks like this is when he has it's actually, I think, the character's last lines alive. He's like, hey Sully, how's it feel to betray your own race? And Natiri just fucking launches these arrows into this dude's heart.
It's pretty
great.
good. Yeah.
Oh, and they're big arrows too, because they're big
Yep.
people. I really appreciate how big
Yeah,
they
dude.
are.
It's so good.
It's like this guy comically getting hit with 3 javelins in the chest.
yes, it's great.
This is our giant woman moment too.
Yeah, because he breaks into Jake's little pod there, actual Jake Sully's pod.
Right, he was trying
and he
to
rips-
wake him up, and
Oh, right.
end the
Yeah.
whole Avatar simulation.
But he can't breathe, so the big mama's gotta pick him up. Ooh, baby, hold him like a little baby.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of
yeah.
like
Oh yeah,
Mama gonna take care of you. Make sure you breathe at night.
it's kind of like two fetishes at the same time.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
when it starts, he's choking,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh shit,
should-
little autoerotic asphyxiation.
Jake
here.
should also be wearing a diaper, living in this
Yeah.
fucking
Yes.
pod.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Well, I had that question. I mean, the
Yeah.
movie's almost over with here. I don't want to derail this too much, but there is the moment where he goes to sleep after the graduation night sex, and he wakes up, and I was like, is he having a wet dream in that thing?
Yep.
Like, did he just wake up like, oh, crikey, I came in my pants?
Definitely. I think there's definitely got to be like a suction situation.
Oh yeah, like a
In
tube
there.
comes down and like
There's gotta
sucks
be.
up the cum off of you, or
Well, I mean, there's all kind. I mean, we didn't even bring it up, Eric, but like the piss and shit have to go somewhere
That's
as well.
That's the thing.
All
If
the
you-
a
sweat.
tube right up the ass, a tube
I think so,
surrounding
yeah.
your whole cock and balls.
Do you think it's like when you like he's like a Navi? He's like, oh, I've been riding these dragons all day. Let me just run around, just go behind this tree, take a leak. And it's like when you start to pee in a dream, like, oh fuck, wake up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh man, I've been there.
It's like shit. No. This is not. I'm not in a bathroom at McDonald's with my grandfather. He's been dead for 20 years. Let's get out of here.
This isn't real. This isn't real.
So
Abort,
yeah,
abort.
too late. Yeah, so whatever. The little epilogue here is Jake Sully's doing his final video log, and he tells us that all these people, all the humans are getting kicked off of Pandora except for Max and Norm. And he's like, this is my final log entry. There's a party for me tonight, and I can't be late. It's my birthday after all.
No more unobtainium for their little bracelets. We're done with it.
Sorry, you're going to have to find some other way to tell the world that your son's the best Little League pitcher in the town. Pandora bracelets.
Yes, it's his birthday. Yeah, he's like, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's been enough movie. I wish there's a little more danger of just like, I might die tonight. You know what I mean? Like that could be something.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a thing where he does have some line. It would have been better, Steve, you're right, if the stakes were better. But
Yes.
he has some line where it's like, whether or not this wackadoo soul transfer permanently works or not, I get to stay on Pandora one way or another. So he's either going to be Jake Sully,
Or
human being, or Jake Sully,
big
the
blue badass.
Navi.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Triple B.
He should have taken maybe, because like Sigourney Weaver's character like dying and not the soul transference not really working or whatever. Like
That's right.
if he was more bodily injured for this soul transference, like he maybe took a 6-foot knife in the gut or something.
Yeah,
Right.
It would be like maybe he won't survive it,
Because that's the thing that CCH Pounder says why it didn't work for Sigourney's characters, because she was too beat up from the gunshot.
So now it's just like, this is
Yeah.
gonna work and that's gonna be fine. And
Yeah, I'm in perfect health to do this science experiment.
end credits are coming. Come on.
Don't worry about it.
And then, just the last shot of the movie is his eyes wake up in the body. And Avatar, directed by Jim Cameron. I appreciate the directed by Jim Cameron and a lot of these initial credits here at the end. Definite traditional Jim Cameron credit font. I'm pretty sure it's the same font from True Lies.
And you got Celine back, baby.
Oh yeah.
What?
Celine Dion does the song at the end of the movie,
Which
my friend.
Is terrible.
It's horrific.
A lot of
It's
the
really
music
bad.
in this, I feel like, is just wishy-washy.
Oh man.
Just put in prog rock, dude. Get some Yes or Asia and just fucking blast it. And honestly, this would have got
That
up
would
a
be
whole
cool.
star rating.
I'm absolutely with you on that, Eric, because there are times when the like Paul Simon's Graceland outtakes that like pepper throughout this, like the little chants and everything. I'm just like, this is too much.
Yes.
This is,
Can
you've
I
gone too
I
far?
I gotta throw something in here because I've become a big fan of, ever since the iPhone let you put a Shazam shortcut. I've been using it a lot to find end songs. This is not Celine
Oh, it is
Dion,
not?
Steve.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's a British singer by the name of Leona Lewis.
Oh, okay.
Singing the song "I See You" (parentheses) theme from Avatar.
So
It
it's
does-
even worse.
It is kind of funny, though. Sorry for being wrong. It is funny. It is very 90s-esque to have this big old pop song.
Yes.
Taylor's oldest time to go over your credits. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Do you think they were like, "Hey Jim, you haven't had a narrative motion picture since 1997. We don't do that anymore."
Exactly.
Well,
exactly.
no, he's bringing it back. Did you see? Like The Weeknd has songs on this fucking new Avatar movie, which is a bad idea. I really don't think it's a terrible idea. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to see in a few short days from when this episode drops,
Yep.
because we will be waist deep in the way of water at the theater for sure.
Oh yeah.
But that is Avatar, folks. Recommendations and final thoughts. Chris Cabin, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I like this movie. I a borderline, I say in chat, I love about 75 to 80% of what's going on here. But the 25% is really tough. I don't think Dances with Wolves is necessarily a good thing to compare it to, because the fucking I don't know if I think that's one of those things where people are just like, broadly that works, right? Fuck what actually happens in the movie.
Yeah.
It's just so different. I give more credit to Cameron. It's essentially a better remake of Dances with Wolves, if you want to say anything about it.
Yeah, not a lot of mech suits in Dances with Wolves.
there
Which
are
was
not
the problem, really.
Big issue, I gotta say. Less coyotes, more of those. I said a lot about I don't really believe in him being like trying to tighten things, because none of this is tight. Like, not even T2 is really tight. Like, Terminator is really the only one. It's tight, but that's just the thing. Is like, I guess he got the blow certainly got worse as True Lies and Titanic went by. But like, I come to know that he's gonna waste my time. Like, that's just the thing. It's a big blockbuster movie. Of course it's going to waste my time. Not every fucking moment is going to hit me. So like, I kind of give that to him. He's going to be a guy of excess, and this as a work of excess, I think it's a very good one.
Eric Siska.
Yeah, no, I applaud the effort. I like a good amount of what this is. I said earlier that I feel like he's trying to world build without actually putting in the work of world building, and it would have been nicer to be more lived in these moments. But that said, the action sequences are fantastic. There's good stuff here. There's bad stuff. It's got a complicated legacy, I would say, that is not necessarily good or bad. I like James Cameron more or less, but sometimes less is more. That's my review.
Steve?
Yeah, I mean, just because it's on the HV doesn't mean it's a hate movie. Like, I don't hate this movie. No. It's just, it's okay, honestly. Like, I kind of felt the same way when I watched it the first time. My second time through, like, I'm not bowled away by this concept. I'm not bowled away by the world. Some of the action's really exciting. A lot of the character building is really not so good. And just, it's just James Cameron. Like, I think I said this in the True Lives episode, I'll say it again. If he had a second writer, just some guy that wrote, or guy or woman or whomever that helped him like craft the story. Like, here's your big ideas, and you're going to change the world with your big ideas. Great. Let's make a movie right on the page first. Then then you could do all the shit with the cameras. And that's what I just wish he was able to do, but he's not able to do it. And, I'm not going to jack off for box office numbers, folks. I'm just not going to do it. I don't care. I mean, like, great. That's cool for making the Disney Corporation more money than they already have. I can't get up for that shit. I don't care.
Well, you'll be pleased to know, Steve, that this sequel that is coming out in a few days or whatever is the team of writers on it are the people that did it's also Cameron, but Rise of the Planet of the Apes, those movies.
Oh, okay.
They actually also did Jurassic World and Mulan and The Hand That Rocks the Cradle in the 90s.
Ooh, I like that.
So say.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see him working with those other writers. There's also other additional writers with story credits. So get ready for like 5-7 writers on the opening of
maybe
Avatar
7
2.
might be too many. Maybe but they heard my pleas too much.
All right, I think it's 5. Apologies.
5, got it. Yeah, I had not revisited this movie since the year 2009, where I saw it twice. Once was the Blizzard mission, and then once was through an old work event. I don't think this movie's life-changing by any stretch of the imagination. I think very few movies indeed are life-changing, as a matter of fact. This is pure spectacle, and it's boring to me to watch on a TV. And I also have to say, I wish I could have invested the money in a 4K disc to watch on my own, because I'm watching this on Disney Plus. It's the week before, the movie's going to come out. Every motherfucker is watching it, on Disney Plus. The stream was terrible. It was absolutely fucking terrible. And it's like, Jim Cameron, you so love technology, man. Why don't you let me use my home technology to watch your movies appropriately? Because that way was a bullshit 2 hours and 46 minutes.
This is streaming on Cameron Plus, the new streaming site that James Cameron owns and operates.
Oh man, so yeah, I don't know, whatever. But the thing is, we're all fucking gonna check out Way of Water, and we'll report on that in some fashion or another. But that is gonna do it for this episode on Avatar. If you want more We Hate Movies, including a discussion about another Jim Cameron film, head over to patreon.com/We Hate Movies. We are talking all about True Lies on the WLM offering this month. What else is going on? What are we doing? We got something for the holidays on Once in a Lifetime, Chris Cabin?
Oh, yeah. We got something called A Christmas Prince, which is a nothing movie that apparently everybody loves.
It's a movie people love. It's a Netflix movie that we are covering on the Once in a Lifetime tier, the top tier of our Patreon. I'm very excited for this to drop because I think it was a really fun episode.
It was.
Who do we know who we're doing on the Gleep Glossary? Eric? Speaking of you talking,
we do. Last month we did Chewbacca, major character. Thought we'd dip down, do something smaller. This run we'll do prequel character Zam Wesell. Yes, shape-shifting assassin.
Interesting.
Ooh. The pendulum flies mightily to the other
Correct.
direction.
We're going to be having some holiday fun on Animation Damnation as we review a Netflix original Elf on the Shelf cartoon. This is going to
Holy
be
shit.
something.
This might get the gun in my mouth and the trigger pulled.
Mm-hmm.
I think, as close as you came with Lil Ellen, Eric, I think this one might do it.
Yep.
This one might do it. So all of that and more over on patreon.com/We Hate Movies, including, I thought of another one here. Towards the end of the month, around them holidays, we're going to be releasing our final commentary of the year. And you guessed it, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, in my opinion, the worst Harry Potter movie.
Oh, yeah.
That is going to be fun as fuck. Another syncable commentary coming out on patreon.com/We Hate Movies. Now, December's just getting going here. We had a live episode last week. This week, we're avataring it up. And next week, we're continuing with in-studio episodes. Steve, what are we talking about?
Ooh, it's the holiday season. It's the Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh,
Well, this will be my first and only time watching.
Wow.
Oh,
Lucky
boy.
you. I saw it once before. Man, it's going to be an H on the feed in a big, bad way next week. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah. Chris, I think you and I saw this together when it came out at Thanksgiving.
I've been trying to block that one out, but yes, we did. Timmy Allen will be in attendance.
Jamie Lee Curtis, of course.
Yes.
Something. Oh, the plot is they are going to go on a tropical vacation for Christmas, even though they always do a big to-do because the daughter's not coming home from college. And then guess what? Dropping in. It's a poppin'. It's a movie about a holiday poppin', if you can believe it.
The worst poppin' that's ever happened. Kramer be damned.
So until next week, when we celebrate Christmas with the Cranks, I'm Andrew Jupin.
Steven Sadak.
Eric Siska.
Chris Cabin.
Take it easy.
That was a HeadGum podcast.